Hi, chat. Hello, chat.
Also, can you? I have no sound, bro.
Yep.
We got you, Brian. Nomadic AI King, no sound.
Speak up.
No sound, no audio. Yeti Bandit, what's up? Just Covino, what's
Got
up?
it. Working now. There
right.
we go. There we
Cool.
go. Hello, got you. Hi, everybody.
All right, are we gonna sock party Eric? Whose fault was the no audio?
It was muted.
But where though?
On eCam on our software.
Is that Eric that controls that?
James controls it, but I
Eric is like, I don't want to take responsibility for this. Okay, sorry about that, chat. Our bad. Welcome. No blame. Noel, I'm telling you right now, always blame. Always blame. Why always? Rob, that's a little aggressive. Eric is a gangster. He will not be fired. But knowing who did the thing is the only way to not do the thing next time. So, just Covino, we like Eric. Let's blame you nice. You nice? The bus is getting backed up over you. Everything is my fault. Yeah, it's interesting. So we probably don't have time to go into the full, everything is my fault, but at the same time, you actually need to know what shook down. Burren Waffet, let's go. How do you get that spark, motivation, or ambition back? You have to care about the thing that you're pursuing. Okay, the cat did it. We don't do cats here at Impact Theory. Let's just start with that. Okay, is this chat for Tom Bilyeu bros only? No. But Tom Bilyeu bros are highly encouraged. So
You like hate cats, like no cats at all, like zero.
it's a bit of a joke. Like if my wife was like, I'm really into cats, I'd be like, all right, get a cat. But cats are for real, like evil.
Tom has two dogters,
Dogters?
like two daughters, but they're dogs.
Oh,
Dogters.
I heard doctors, but with
that's where I
dogs.
went with it too.
And I was like,
Dogters.
I assure you, I go elsewhere for my medical advice. Okay, so just to set the stage, hopefully you guys will be joining us frequently. We do 3 Tom Bilyeu shows a week. We do 1 interview a week. The interviews will not be, I mean, I guess, Eunice, are you going to go live 5 days a week? Is that the drill?
Hello. For the moment, yes, unless we see that it's not working or if we decide to
Yeah,
pivot
but
or anything.
the current strat
Current
is
strat
5 days a week.
is
Okay.
5, yes.
So we'll be going live 5 days a week. 3 of those days we'll be doing prep for the Tom Bilyeu Show. So you guys will forgive me. I love questions about anything, everything you guys want to talk about. Love it, love it, love it. However, during episode prep, I will probably ignore questions that aren't related to the ep. And one thing that would be amazing is I would love if you guys want to participate in the episode prep. So meaning if you know something that maybe we didn't notice on X or on YouTube that's really popping off, I definitely want to hear about that. So to give you guys an idea of what the show really is meant to be. So this is all about what I'm calling the mono brand strategy. Let me tuck my nicotine gum for a second. Okay, so mono brand strategy goes like this. Up until now, depending on the platform that you encountered me, I was going to be talking about very different things. So if you wanted my sort of hot take on culture, you were going to go to my X feed. If you wanted to see the things that I was learning about that I thought would be valuable to the audience, you were going to go to YouTube. If you wanted to see mindset stuff, you were going to go to either Instagram or what I was doing on Twitch. Twitch had a heavy game bent. And that was my way of dealing with the fact that I'm pursuing a bifurcated strategy. Thank you. Bifurcated strategy in that Impact Theory makes content and then Impact Theory does education and Impact Theory does entertainment. And so I was trying to like, oh God, how do we deal with this? Which by the way is a terrible strategy. So seeing we, at the encouragement of both you, Nice, and Drew, I started live streaming about 4 or 5 months ago on Twitch. Built an incredible but just microscopic community over there. And so realized, hey, this bifurcated strategy is exactly the thing that I would, in the education, teach other entrepreneurs not to do. So I was like, all right, it's time to actually test a mono brand strategy, meaning no matter where you encounter me, you're going to hear me talking about the same things. So the Tom Bilyeu Show really became the heartbeat of that. Of here are the 5 buckets of things that we're going to, because your channel does have to have some focus. Otherwise, it's just going to be madness and you'll never be able to build an audience. So we laid out 5 buckets of content. So they are future tech. So you're going to see a lot of talk about AI. Politics, we try to keep it to 20%, but certainly right now what's happening is crazy. So we might slightly over-index on that. World affairs, so call that culture-y stuff, like what's happening that people really care about. And business is a big one. And then, world affairs as differentiated from culture. So world affairs, what's something that's happening in the world? Could be the earthquakes going on in Greece. It could be a war breaking out, whatever. And then getting into, what is the last one that I'm blanking on right now, Drew? We've got future tech, politics, world affairs, culture, and biz. There we go. So those are the 5. So anything that we're talking about here on the Tom Bilyeu Show, if you have anything that goes along with that, please bring that. And by the way, business is the one where it's either, it could be, what am I talking about? Finance is the a big driver for us. So culture and world affairs, those are tied, and then finance. There we go. Don't worry, we do have this written down, and I will get better at saying these all out loud. So anything that falls into those 5 buckets, if you guys have something on that you think that we missed, please drop it into the feed. That will be super helpful. And then we build out the episode. So we have a 3-hour prep time. The first 2 hours will be what is the heartbeat of the episode, meaning what's really hit a point of cultural awareness that we want to chime in on that. And then the last hour is when we actually record it. And the episodes will eventually be recorded on the same day that they release, but that is not true right now. So once we finish the 2 hours of prep, we'll go dark here. We're debating whether we record live or continue recording the episode live on Twitch. So more to come on that. And also you guys let us know what you want to do. We're just trying to be realistic about getting the episode to pop on YouTube. Requires the super fans to engage with it as soon as it drops. By way of a behind the scenes look, this Sunday we ran an accidental test in that we put the episode live, the inflation episode, the solo one where I'm just looking into the camera. We put that. It went live on Sunday. It was supposed to go live on Monday morning. Went live on Sunday by accident. It was up for like 3 hours. It was doing 5,000 views an hour. Pulled it down. Whoops, our bad. No worries. We'll just, we put it private technically. We'll put it back up on Monday morning. And then on Monday morning, it was doing 1,800 views in an hour. So obviously we absolutely slaughtered the momentum of that video by putting it private. So there are realities to be faced that when the people who are like, I know when a Tom Bilyeu episode drops, I'm going to go check it out. That tells the algorithm people care about this episode, and it just makes a huge difference to the performance of the episode. And if at any point today, if I curl up into a ball and start crying because of the lack of performance of that inflation video, you'll have to forgive me. I am still emotionally traumatized just because scripted videos take me so long to write. But that kind of thing matters a lot. So we're going to be debating it and all that. Okay. Community matters a lot. If you guys are wondering why I have so dramatically changed the format and style of the show and that we're going live now, it is because we are trying to move away from being audience focused to being community focused. So what does that mean? That means that I would do a video that would get 6 million views, and then the next video would get 36,000 views. Okay, what does that tell you? It tells you that the people showing up are an audience and they care very much about the guests that I'm bringing on. And they get the format of the show and all that. And I'm sure there's some positive effect of it being me as the host. And they're like, oh, I know how this guy covers this topic. So whenever I would talk about finance, people go crazy. Episodes perform really well. But that is a feast or famine strategy that I'm not interested in. So I want to see if we can build a brand which will help me in untold number of ways. If I can build a community of people that are interested in the things that I'm interested in. So for instance, I'm building a video game and have been for almost 3 years now. And getting people aware of that fact has proven to be nearly impossible using that bifurcated strategy. So putting it all together with a lot of hypotheses around something I call rogue waves of awareness that only happen if you release a clip, let's say, that's performing across everything. So Tom Bilyeu episode goes out. We pull a clip from that, and you go to Instagram, you're going to see that clip. You go to TikTok, you're going to see that clip. You are watching a live replay on Twitch, or not a live replay, but a replay on Twitch. You're going to see that clip, so on and so forth. So now it's like no matter where you go, your feed is showing that clip if it's popping off. Okay, we'll see. Everything is a hypothesis. This is my whole big thing about what I call the physics of progress. You want to understand, I tried a thing, I expected this result, I either did or didn't get that result. So going back to what we were doing on Twitch, me playing video games, talking about mindset, I think we can build a huge community. That was wrong, but we built a community. So for the first time, people were showing up to engage with me. And it also helped me be more relaxed on camera, which historically is not something I would say is a trait that I had, which is why even I am shocked by how awkward I can be in a normal episode of Impact Theory, especially at the beginning. So anyway, that practice of just going live all the time and also having to play a video game while talking, it really does sharpen you up in terms of being able to multitask, to have your brain sort of dual tracking. Cool. So this is the hypothesis that we're running right now. And to all the people saying that the inflation video was awesome, thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. Sandra,
It was a really good video.
I appreciate that.
And to the blame thing, it was my fault, chat. So I was the wrong. I uploaded it late. I get all the credit. We yelled at Eric today, so I get my yelling at. But I don't want you to be sad about it because it was. I seen a couple of your solos. That was my favorite one.
Well, I appreciate that very much. And you will notice nobody got yelled at. Eric did not get yelled at, nor did Drew get yelled at. But it is important to understand why something went wrong. This is something that drives my wife crazy because I will go, okay, the thing that we always have to look at, this is one that drives my wife nuts. The thing that I always have to look at as somebody running the physics of progress is it is possible I just don't have a personality that people find themselves drawn to. Now, she thinks when I say that, it diminishes my self-esteem. It does not. The thing that I build my self-esteem around is my willingness to say it could just be that I don't have one of those personalities. And then if it's like, oh, that's the problem, then you start doing things to address it. Either can you change the way that your personality comes across on camera? On and on and on. But if you're not willing to stare nakedly at the truth, you're never going to make progress. All right, this is a lot of words around. Would love it if you guys know that I'm going to be ignoring a lot of comments if they're off topic for what we're trying to do right now, which is episode prep for the Tom Bilyeu episode, which we have to start rolling cameras at 10. Drew? Yeah.
Yes. We don't have like a hard out today.
Don't we? I've been told that before, only to have my wife send me text like, what the fuck? I thought you were going to be done, which is unfair. Actually, no, we don't. We have until noon.
Yeah, today,
oh, we got time.
Yeah, we chilling.
Oh, so you gave us the extra hour.
Yeah, you asked before. Asking you shall receive.
True. A hug would be awkward, but thank you.
You can always
I
hug me,
appreciate
Tom.
that. For real?
Yes.
Wait. We have that on camera. Because here's the thing. No. Here, Drew, you didn't know me. So Tom is a hugging machine.
Really?
I love hugs in ways you can't imagine. Okay? Me Too happens. And what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson gets put on blast for what? He lifted a woman's sleeve up to look at her tattoo. Does it cross a line? 100%. Is it a little awkward? 100%. Is it a Me Too incident? So I was like, I don't fucking hug anybody at all. Unless somebody expressly asks me for a hug, fuck no. Now my wife remains a hug machine.
Yeah.
And I start saying, you're the number one risk we have for getting sued. 100%. Now, because she's 5'1" and a woman, she can get away with things I can't. So yeah, I'm just being honest about why I was like, also, I get it. If the CEO, can you imagine the lawsuit? I felt like I had to hug him. He's the CEO. I didn't want to get fired.
Yeah.
But you're a hugger.
More than you could imagine. But 100%.
That's my thing.
Okay, so
dude, you have to turn that part of your brain off when you're the CEO.
I know.
You have to just be like.
But it's so crazy to hear you say that you're a hugger because I feel like you are just like.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no emotions, baby. None at all. Okay. Like, it's crazy. And then yesterday during the live stream, when Lisa was like, or like when we were like, who cries? And he was like, your face went
Up until she started going through perimenopause.
Correct. But
That woman cries nonstop now.
like, it's
is
just
weird.
so, I don't know. It's such a different side that I guess we don't know. I'd love to see more of a,
Well,
an
so first of all,
emotional-
I don't just cry randomly.
know,
It's got to be like a movie. I'm not the guy that will just cry. So, in fact, when I say I am not a crier, I'm not a crier. But because I am so moved by storytelling, stories will get me. So my wife will be watching a movie and stone cold, and I'm like trying desperately not to, and it's like, and I just can't. But movies.
okay, but can we,
So in
okay,
real
what's
life,
the
not so
last movie you cried to? Or like shed a couple tears or moved you?
I don't remember is the honest answer. My memory doesn't work like that, but it could be something. I'm sure I cried in like Yellowstone. I don't remember it, but
Yeah.
that's
Old
the
Yeller.
kind of story
Where the red fern grows.
where the red fern grows destroyed me.
Now I read that.
but
book
I
in
was
third
also
grade and-
7.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I was gonna
let's
say.
keep that in mind.
That's right.
Also, okay, I think it's bad form when people don't acknowledge chat. So chat, forgive me. I've not been acknowledging you guys nearly enough because this is episode prep. But that is going to be Eunice's big thing. So we will go into like proper episode prep. Your job is to get very aggressive at interrupting me to acknowledge if like chat has something on like topic.
Yeah.
Chat, if you guys, if you follow on Twitch, especially, because I assume you're here, because now YouTube is like just absolutely smashing
Yeah.
Twitch because we're finally on main channel. But if you're a new follower, shout that out. Literally, if I'm mid-sentence, shout that out. If you're on Twitch and people are dropping biddies, if they do subs, like for real, that's why we're live. So I want to make sure. Now, one day, maybe it, God willing, it's going by so fast, we'll have to change our rules a little bit. And then also, maybe more important than anything else, if they give us an idea that we might want to
Pass
incorporate
along.
in the episode,
Yep.
aggressively interject. Eunice is so kind, unless you're playing games against her, in which case she is an absolute fucking murderer. But she's very kind. And so I know you're going to struggle with this. So I'm going to keep pushing you to be more aggressive, and we will find our balance. Okay. So
On that topic,
yeah.
we have so many people saying hello to
Hello.
you.
What's up, everybody?
Just in general. Over on the Twitch side, we've got Yeti Bandit, Just Covino, A Cuber. We've got Parzival, Pre-Caffeinated.
These are our
Oscar.
OG Twitch community. You guys
Correct.
know I love you. You guys know I love you. Like a place in my heart. So thank you for
we
being
shout out Parzival? That was actually like really like cute. He was like, this is like a business oriented, family friendly version of Howard Stern.
Okay, but hold on. So Parzival, first, I want to acknowledge, is the very first VIP we ever made
Hey!
on Twitch.
Boom, boom, boom,
So
boom.
Parzival, you know you will for literally, if we were going to make, and we should, inside of Kaizen, like an actual Hall of Fame, he's in that Hall of Fame. He was the
Nice.
first person I ever gave. It's a literal thing inside Twitch. However, it is very important that I acknowledge this will not be family friendly, and I will be swearing. And there are going to be things that is going, you guys are going to get mad at me from time to time. And so the only thing that I ask of you guys is to understand that I firmly believe that no one person has a monopoly on the truth, which means I'm going to say things that you don't like. The only thing I can promise you is I'm being sincere. I will be wrong about a lot of stuff, okay? And I will correct my beliefs over time. I will not adopt all of your beliefs. It just is how it is. I'm not looking for you to adopt my beliefs. So the right way to think about me that will not drive you crazy is that I am an AI and I see the world from a certain perspective that's constantly changing and evolving. And I have one goal. I am trying to figure out what is actually true so that I can get a better predictive engine that allows me to go, if I do this thing, I will get this result. That's it. So utility is like the driving force in my life. Okay.
We just got a follower. on
Let's
Twitch,
go.
T-Bird
Who was
BDO.
it? T-Bird?
T-Bird BDO _
Let's
T-Bird
go,
_
T-Bird.
BDO.
Thank you. Nice jump in, by the way.
Thank you.
So that is the thing. Now, if you want to challenge my ideas, I'm totally here for that. I'm not weird about that at all. If you start being a dick, I'm just going to ignore you. So you will know that you have become obnoxious when you're like repeating the same thing over and over and over, and it's as if I don't see it. So just brace yourself for that one. But I do like having my ideas challenged, but let's just all agree that there is some decorum. We are not going to let anybody hijack the feed. We'll give you warnings if you're just going too hard in the paint. But
One more follow from Egum on
Let's
Twitch.
go.
Egum, thank
Come
you so
through.
much.
Now, it's because we only see chat. We don't see the activity feed.
Correct.
I see.
Correct.
But I do see Stream Elements giving Egum a shout out. Egum, thank you so much.
Welcome,
All right,
everybody.
love it.
And also, thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube. Everybody's saying hello to Drew. There's a few people saying, hi, Drew.
Hey.
We
And
got a lot of Team Drews. I
Team
see that
Drews.
in the YouTube feed all the time.
Yes. And
Respect.
someone said, hi, Eunice. Hello. Yes, hi, Eunice. Me.
Can we all just agree in the feed it's pronounced Eunice?
We cannot.
Eunice. Eunice.
We will not agree to that.
She's nice with it. Indeed. So every time I see it, I'm going to assume you guys mean it to be said Eunice. And I respect that.
Oh, and someone asked, how do you spell it? It's E-U-N-I-C-E. E-U-N-I-C-E.
Or Y-O, actually just U-N-I-C-E.
That's crazy.
Also
No.
acceptable spelling. Just-
No, that I
for
will
the record.
override.
But you know,
Tom.
I see a lot of like Team Drews, Team Eunices, Team Toms. It's Team Us. It's Team Impact.
Oh, come on, B-Raw.
That's
I like
crazy.
that.
And thank you for the follow, Potato Stew on Twitch.
Let's go,
Thank
Potato
you.
Stew.
Oh, RFK confirmed. Is that official, Eric?
Oh, Eric, do not fuck with
get
me. Don't
excited.
toy with my emotions,
Don't get me
Eric.
excited. You know
Eric,
we're big
people have done
RFK
this to
guys
me
here.
before.
I got to Google that.
People
Wait
have
a
done
second.
this to me before.
They said it was supposed
And
to
then
be
it's like he's advancing to the 76th round of approvals.
live
Come on.
updates.
Let's see. Because I know Tulsi got in.
Yeah, Tulsi's in.
All right. Anybody?
Breaking 8:31. It literally just happened.
Oh, we got
Let's
a thumbs
go.
down on RFK. Uh-oh.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
okay, guys.
That's somebody who's hate
Hold on,
watching.
We
You're
have
not
we have
gonna
a
enjoy me.
3-hour interview. Please go watch it on the channel. It was so good. We heard all the news. Tom asked all the hard questions. We talked about everything. After that interview, if you still don't like him, then you're valid. But I'm telling you, that's what did the U-turn in my head.
Facts.
People are saying 52,
Drew and
48.
Unice got a shout out for their apparel yesterday, which I agree. By the way, off camera, I was extremely impressed by.
I would love to see you in the red tux, but I would also need that.
Why?
I need that plug on the onesies. You guys killed it with the onesies.
Dude, we literally have a closet of onesies. Okay, can I give you my whole secret thing on that? Okay, I am admittedly a hyper responder to oxytocin and vasopressin, which means I bond hard. So I'm extremely bonded to my wife. But I really believe that you need to do things where you get in sync with your partner. And so dressing alike has a really fascinating impact. So yes, we don't always do it. Lisa made it sound like we do it every weekend. That is absolutely false. We do it every weekend from Thanksgiving to New Year. That is true. We will literally dress in the same onesie every weekend. And then once we go offline for the break every day. But even so, my family comes here, and over the Christmas holiday, anybody who has that onesie, we will all dress the same. So it's like a family of, there's 9 of us usually, and call it 6 or 7 of us will be in the same onesie. So there's a whole thing there. There's a whole thing.
That's awesome.
It's goofy as hell, but it is awesome. So, word. Okay.
I see the
Let us-
you dropped a time code for the Rogan at the hour 19.
Yeah.
I just watched a couple of clips. I'm gonna dive into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. And guys, remember, we are doing episode prep. So if you have something germane, like if you're going to help me sharpen my thinking, then
Thank you to the
That we'll
RFK
get into,
news
but-
too. That was huge, chat.
And
Yeah,
Precaffeinated
no doubt.
just subscribed with Prime for 5 months.
Damn.
Precaf, thank you.
Damn. Pre-calf. Thank you, brother.
Precaf,
That's huge.
welcome. And good
That is
morning,
huge.
Straw Hat.
Straw Hat. Okay, first of all, this is where I reveal to my YouTube audience who probably won't know this. I'm like a full-blown junkie for manga and anime. I can give a whole treatise on why. So shout out to Straw Hat. If you know, you know. DGen trucker. I do have thoughts on that. We should talk about that. Probably won't come up in today's episode, so I'll skip that. Oh no, I don't know why you're coughing. I'm guessing there's context that I missed. Forgive me. All right. Okay, so yeah, let me pull up the sheet here. The big thing for me, so Benz has some crazy shit in that interview. It's one of those interviews where I feel like if I watched it 2 or 3 more times, I might actually be able to start putting pieces together. But one of the clips you're going to want to watch is the one where I say insight into how the government really works. Was that the 119 one?
Yeah, the covert ops.
Yeah, so that one is what I think we're about to live through. And I have a feeling this is going to be the angle that I want to build the episode around today is...
Thank you to Papa Gurkha.
Papa Gurkha in the house.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's this whole thing tied around the Machiavellians. So James Burnham puts forth a hypothesis, probably a thesis at this point, that you have to have elites. There is no way to run a country by the masses. It will just be chaos. The masses are too easy to sway. But we live in an era of ultra high volume and ultra high velocity information. And part of what makes the elites work is I'm going to use a fancy word, they pre-masticate the world of information and give you a simplified narrative. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao.
Mira Lexer just followed on Twitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now the problem becomes, I don't know if you get a better world when everyone can see the truth, because the truth is essentially impossible to define. Good luck trying. This is why 2 of the smartest people that the world has to offer right now, Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, got bogged down for like 3 hours just trying to define what's true. It is that hard. It is that hard. I think the only way to define the truth is to say the thing that has 100% predictive validity. We don't even know physics at that level. Yeah. So once you start talking about the human mind, good luck. So as all of this information starts coming out, we're going to realize that the government lies to us nonstop. They position things nonstop. A way cleaner way to say it. They are always positioning. They are always shaping narrative. They are always saying, okay, we want this outcome. We've got to do these covert things to get there. And if James Burnham is correct, and that there is no other way to have a functioning society, as we unearth what's happening with, in fact, here's what he said. You start doing the CIA so that you can manipulate governments and all that. But you say, you just can't manipulate internally. Cool, got it. CIA starts doing all this stuff externally, and they realize we've got to do some things internally. So we're going to need another organization. Let's call it USAID. You spin up USAID, and this is a Ben's quote, when something is too filthy for the CIA, you go to USAID. Now that we're discovering USAID is a problem, they're going to spin up another organization. If James Burnham is right, and that there is no way to not do this. Like, you have to have a shared sense of what the world is. Period, full stop, end of story. You have to. And if you let that run amok, meaning you just let it fractal, miss, dis, mal, right? Miss, dis, mal. If you let it all go, all those information styles, then you're just going to have constant, never-ending chaos, and you won't have a stable society. So that's where I'm like, I don't know what to do with that, because it collides with the one thing that I'm like, this is worth fighting for. And that is top-down control is dehumanizing. And dehumanizing in the way that the gulags are dehumanizing. Not like, oh, you're treating me poorly. I'm talking you're locked up or killed. Debanking, for instance, is on that slope of like, well, we're just going to make it impossible for you to live. And so I think the Mike Benz thing is going to explode. And I think the things he's talking about of like the depth of the manipulation. I won't even ask people to call it corruption. The depth of the manipulation is so deep in terms of them trying to control the narrative. But yet it's a mechanism that's necessary. So how do we step into a world that has high velocity, high volume of information that is also high utility for creating a stable world? Because you're shaping a narrative. And so this is the clash with Elon.
Dale Denton, thank you for the follow on Twitch.
Let's go, Dale. Elon isn't pure. And everybody knows that. Well, not everybody. Enough people. They're going to squawk about it. Some people are saying it just because they're like, whoa, don't trust him. Just have to say it. But for some people, that's another pre-masticated narrative where they're looking at what he's doing, cherry picking what he's doing to paint their narrative so that they can get back into power. But Elon's doing it to get his side in power. So I don't know how this all plays out. But this begins to trigger all this stuff like, holy hell, AI has to be open. Because the fact, like when I say, if I want to understand something, I just go straight to chat. Now, if chat lies, I'm fucked because I don't have the bandwidth. Even as somebody who makes money off of understanding this stuff and bringing it to an audience, I don't have the time to do the kind of deep dive that Benz has done on USAID. So Benz is like, USAID is my shtick. And I'm going to go just infinitely deep on USAID. You can't. So at some point you just go, all right, I'm going to choose to believe. And this is how the mainstream media controlled the narrative forever, but was in bed with first the CIA, then in bed with the State Department, and then in bed with USAID, and like on and on the loops go. So we are going to live through a time of such upheaval because we have the following things happening at the same time. AI is going to control much of the information space. Social media gives anyone a voice. AI can pretend to be human. And so now the information space effectively becomes infinitely fake. Like you can spin up 1 million bots, 100 million bots, no problem. The government is stealing your money, my hobby horse, right? And then you've got just real people. And the reason that government agencies spin up to manipulate people is because it works. So you have an extremely manipulatable species, humans, coming into contact with an alien intelligence that's effectively infinite in scale at a time where information travels instantaneously around the globe. And we're financially weakened because of inflation, which people really do not understand. That if I were going to drill down into what controls your life more than anything, it is money. And that the core of how that money is manipulated is inflation. And one more, we're in a position where the elites just flipped. So it went from old elites of the New York Times variety, just got hit by a freight train of the social media age as brought to you by Trump and Elon. Where does it go? And where does it go? And so for a lot of people were very surprised when I went from Impact Theory 1.0, all empowerment all the time.
Rotor cased. Thank you for the follow.
Let's go. To what I'm doing now. And my thing is, the only reason I ever talked about empowerment was I saw how much agency it gave me in my life. Yesterday, this is shocking to me as much as anybody. Yesterday, I had a call with my money managers, and it was the first time where all the stuff that I've been talking about in terms of the 5 buckets that we cover had a an actual impact in my choices around money. And I thought, ooh, this is it. It's learning about this stuff has increased my agency in my life. But it took a lot of like asking myself one question over and 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 over. How does the world really work? And my first question, empowerment, was how does my mind work? Once I felt like, okay, I actually get that now. Now it becomes, okay, how does the world really work? And how do I take that information into myself? So anyway, the Mike Benz episode just had me going, whoa, like all the conspiracy confetti that's been in the air since COVID kicked off, people are now actually drawing constellations among those stars. It's a line that he said in the interview. I thought it was brilliant. He said, I'm just going to show you the stars. You guys draw your own constellations. And I think that as Elon and Doge keeps digging into how we spend money, going to be some pretty fascinating constellations that are hard to ignore.
Yeah. Heard, received.
Now, how do we make that the heartbeat of the episode? By the way, guys watching, this is what I do. I dry run my ideas with Drew. Gives me a chance to say them out loud, to see where the edges are of what I actually understand. Does Tom stop talking at some point? Topher, you're here to hear me talk. And if you're not having a good time with that, you're not going to have a good time here. So, no, is the short answer.
Because I remember when we first found out about Tulsi, and we were like, yeah, she's going to head up to 15 intelligence agencies. We both had the same reaction, like, wait, there's 15 intelligence agencies? So it was one of those things that, like, the bad news about the U.S., I'm just going to talk about us because I know the world is fucked up, but let's just start at home for a second, is that, yes, we are running these deep cover black ops. President is closing his eyes, not seeing certain things. I was telling you about that show, Lioness. This is like the entire premise of the show. It's like the CIA is getting their hands dirty. They have a whole outfit that does their own thing. If you get caught, you get killed. But if not, I'll give you millions and millions of dollars to do whatever you need to do. So that kind of normalized it for me. And I just recently binge watched it. So I'm like locked in. I feel like an operative. But on the other side of it, there's that point where you and Robert Breedlove made where it was like, that was the beauty of the U.S. was that every 4 years it changes. So although we're this nasty, evil conglomerate, the one saving grace is at least we're not a monolith evil conglomerate. There's at least some type of interchange there.
Well, this is the whole thing about the deep state, though, that I think is very real, is the deep state doesn't change. Not every 2 years, not every 4 years, not every 6 years. It never changes.
I think the people, how we deploy the resources, I feel like that's what changes. Like the deep state agenda under Obama, I think is different than the deep state agenda under Trump. And I do think that those are.
Do you think that Trump is creating a new deep state?
I think it's conflicting. There's some people, when Trump got in office, there's definitely some people who knew that their pockets were going to dry up. The gravy train was over. But on the flip side, there's also some on the other side. I do think there's more than two sides. I'm not saying that. It's like Democrats are what? Big Pharma, Wall Street. Republicans are oil and law and order. So it's like there's 17 different industries that are all kind of in this deep state pocket, at least from my perspective. And it's just some people have more influence on this side of the political spectrum versus other things have more.
Yes. And certainly even the deep state is not a monolith. Yeah, but what you're seeing is, I think, Jank had the right idea that seeing it as a left versus right is far less useful than seeing it as establishment versus populist. And I think what we're up against is the deep state is establishment. So it's people that are entrenched. They are the elites. They believe you're too dumb. They don't want you to have all the information. They're going to control the narrative. They're going to manipulate foreign governments. They're going to do it however the hell they need to. They're going to line their pockets while they do it. And populism is stop fucking around with all this international bullshit. Start focusing here at home. Get the people within our borders doing well, and then we can worry about other stuff. And that's why a Bernie Sanders a few years ago, 'cause I think people are a little
established
weirded
now.
out by what's
Yeah.
happening now. But Bernie a few years ago versus Trump was actually like, that was less jarring for people because that was a left look at populism versus a right look at populism, but they both got it. Like that's why you saw someone like Rogan go, oh, I'm voting. I can't remember if he actually did vote for him, but at one point was like, oh, I could see myself voting for Bernie, and then ended up voting for Trump this time, I think. So that's where that makes a lot more sense. That has more predictive validity to me, is that the deep state is this, it is more useful to think of it as an unelected fourth branch of government than to think of it as either Democrat or Republican. This is people that like that it's just so like interconnected. Byzantine is the word. I was trying not to use Byzantine. It's so Byzantine, meaning so labyrinthian and so like impossible to navigate that that they can get away with like taking your money and doing all the kinds of sending money abroad that they've been doing for years, regardless of who's in office. Benz was talking about, oh, this is how in Trump 1.0, the deep state was bamboozling Trump, is they would keep like giving him different numbers and moving things around. And so it became impossible for him to wrap his arms around what the fuck is actually happening. So that feels to me like the higher utility read of the deep state. And so that's why you see so much squawking now, is that Trump is coming in and actually disrupting the deep state. I admittedly like the deep state because I think it conjures the right amount of wolves howling in the background, but even just the managerial class, fine. But when you have like all these rah-rah policies, but they can stop you from getting them enacted, then what do you really have? You have somebody that interfaces with the public, meaning there's a new face on what's happening, but there isn't actually underground a new thing happening. Like it all just sort of gets slowed down, mucked up, and yeah. Hit me with your best shot.
No, because I like how you called it as like a fourth unelected branch of government. That's a good way to put it. However,
I'm gonna get
Ricochet.
a t-shirt that says comma however. By
Thanks
the
for
way.
the follow on Twitch.
Who was it?
Ricochet.
Ricochet. Let's go.
There's certain things that I think the U.S. is just always going to do. It's like once we signed the Patriot Act, it's like you're never getting your privacy back. You gave it up already. So I think that us, although we're not going to be international police, we're going to be America first. We're still going to do black ops in the Middle East. We're still going to do disruptions. We're still going to overthrow elections. We're still going to do all those things. And I think that it's going to sound crazy, but there is a utility to doing it. I remember me and my friend used to say this all the time, that the world is really just a big game of Risk. You played Risk before.
Yes, but like when I was 11.
Yeah, so it's just like you want to have more of your color on the map and somebody else have their color on the map.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the U.S. in general policies like left, right, middle, green, if all the presidents died and we revolted and started a new class, I think that's still going to be the U.S.'s game.
You don't think that's going to be everybody's game?
It is everybody's game, but the U.S. is the best at it. So I don't think so. To the point of like the deep state, I'm less worried about the international black ops and the covert stuff
Because you think it's useful.
because I think there is a utility we're not seeing, and that utility
Or we don't want to face would be at least.
I would say we're not seeing, because I do think, to the CIA's credit, to the FBI's credit, they probably have stopped things that might have destabilized this country, but it's a slippery slope because you can also see where they're making that unilateral decision and it's not the people's choice. So to your point of like, they are making those elite decisions. But yeah, I don't know. Cause it's like, yes, I didn't want the FBI to assassinate Martin Luther King, but also I'm sure they assassinated some like insurrectionist white supremacist group in the Deep South in the 1940s that I never seen, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's counterbalances on other sides that we just have no idea about, but I'm so connected to this side of it that I care. So I think even with Mike Pence, he's so connected to U.S. aid that he knows all their deep, dark, dirty secrets. I'm sure if we go through every other NGO and all that, it kind of ties to the same thing.
It's interesting. So Eric Weinstein was talking about this. I think it was on Piers Morgan. And he said, what we're witnessing is the Jessupification of America.
The Jessupification?
Yes. Now, those were his words. Everything that I'm about to say is my interpretation. So please don't hold this against Eric. But in fact, this might be a clip we want to pull. In fact, this is a clip we want to pull. So if you can find this, he was just on there yesterday or the day before. So Colonel Jessup was the character played by Nicholson in A Few Good Men. Mm-hmm. And what he's saying in A Few Good Men is he gives a absolutely fucking incredible speech that, like, you don't want to know how the sausage is made. You don't want to know how I keep America safe. So you're going to judge me because we did authorize this code red on this guy that we saw as being a detriment to the strength of our military, or, you know, this platoon or whatever. I forget what part he was in, but they killed a military guy, or I don't think they intended to kill him, but they beat the shit out of him, and it ended up killing him. And he was saying, you don't want to know how we keep America safe, but you want to live in a safe America. And I think what Eric is getting at, and this is certainly what I'm getting at, is that we do want a safe America. And whether we want to know how it's done or not, we're about to find out. But that will have second and third order consequences. And I don't know what they're going to be. Now, the thing that I have my eye on, I am so curious. Okay, every hypothesis makes a prediction. So my hypothesis is that people are manipulatable, that the volume and velocity of information will make it impossible for the average person to hold on to what's really happening. And therefore, we're going to live through a moment where, as long as Trump can make things better for people at home, they are going to forgive absolute insanity outside of our borders. So all eyes on Gaza. If Trump wins at home, meaning inflation starts going down, real wages start going up, and he really does turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East, then my hypothesis will have been proven correctly, because that's crazy. That is literally, it is ethnic cleansing, definitionally. Sort of. I am removing the words. It was like intentionally killing or something like that. If you take that out and it's just the intentional relocation, because it's like intentional relocation or killing, they just rubblized that shit and obviously killed a ton of people in the process. But the intention, I think, was just to rubbleize it and get them the fuck out. And now you're going to see that I think it's actually going to happen, and it's going to happen just in full view. And you just find a simple enough way to explain that this is good for everybody. It's better. It's good for us too. It's going to bring peace. And people are just going to be like, yeah, okay. Like, you'll get people that squawk and yell and scream, but they won't be able to get the momentum to stop it from happening. But this is a Jordan Egypt thing. Like, do they really draw a line in the sand and say, like, hard pass, not doing it, and we will actually fight? And then we'll see what happens. But my hypothesis right now is that America will be able to use its economic might to force Jordan and Egypt to take the refugee Palestinians. It may destabilize them, because it's my understanding that Jordan is already just astronomically made up of Palestinians. And so if you bring more Palestinians, then it might really destabilize Jordan. But if America is able to pull this one off, and 5 years from now, it's like they break ground on the first Trump or otherwise golf course, hotel, then
population of Jordan is
really can't sway
11.3. They have 2.3 Palestinians.
11. Sorry, say that again.
11.3 total, and 2.3 of those is Palestinians.
Okay, so what's that? It's almost 20%.
Yeah.
So if you drop another million in there, and that becomes like another, call it 35-ish% of the total population,
Yeah. 20%.
I can understand why they'd be like, wait, because culturally you just cannot absorb that many people. This would be like Mexico forcing America to take, 30 million more people from South America, Central, North, and South America. Since, believe it or not, Mexico is North America. That is hard to get my head wrapped around. So
If I may interrupt real quick.
you may at all
Just so
times.
we can acknowledge chat for a little bit. People are going off
Let's hear it.
in the chat right now for you guys, by the way. So we can touch on Twitch. Yeti Bandit says, hypothesis, large companies often evolve into a bureaucratic mess, and since the government culture isn't forced to change or go out of business, they can't make it better. And Papa Gurkha says, there are necessary evils that people don't want to face or agree to on the surface.
Yup.
We've got
We may long for it to go back underground. That's certainly a hypothesis.
Ahmed over on YouTube saying, I think the difference between the Democratic and Republican parties is that one relies on long-term solutions and the other on a short-term project. The combination is the balance. We've got KP saying, yeah, I don't like his take on unions being universally horrible. That's an awful take. Very un-American.
Whose take is that?
They might be talking about somebody else.
Do you have a take on that unions are horrible?
Do I have a take that they are universally horrible? No, I do not. Do I have a take that unions
Elon's
can
take,
create
specifically.
problems? Yes.
They're saying Elon's take.
Yeah, if you look at the Department of Education, you can see that unions create real problems. But I get it. They're trying to help the average worker have a better voice, but it is it's not the clean-cut picture one would want it to be.
We've got Flack Totem saying, I'm more worried about 10 years from now. There is a lot of anti-American sentiment in the Middle East, and Gaza is a totemic issue for them. It would give most of them a mandate to align with China. We've got...
Say that one more time.
I don't know that it auto aligns them with China, but in terms of big powers, if China were to go in and Belt and Road, then yes, that could certainly push them in that direction. That is for sure. But I think you're probably going to see them go into the arms of whoever in the Middle East is able to splash money around, which right now would probably be driven mostly by Saudi. So if Saudi is pro-America and Saudi, and this is why hypothesis, but this is why I think Trump is going so hard in the paint about the Abraham Accords. Saudi, I think you could get pro-America if we can make it economically viable for them. Saudis obviously have a ton of money, and if they are investing in the Middle East and are either the drivers of what happens in Gaza or at least very meaningfully involved, they might be who people can side with and feel like they're not with America. We'll see. We'll see. It depends on what Saudi does, depends on what China does. It also depends on if they can get more. Like, can you get Jordan? Can you get Egypt? Can you get Saudi? Can you get all of them working together, all while weakening Iran? You might have something interesting happen. But yeah, there will be a diplomatic battle, if nothing else, an economic battle over the Middle East. Who's going to control it? Yeah, we'll see.
We've got KP again saying, I honestly don't care for what Elon has been doing most of the time, and it's unfortunate Trump gave him this role and gave him so much autonomy. Trump should have appointed someone else for this role.
Okay, so let's talk about that one. And then we really are going to have to start piecing this together. We have till 11? No, wait. What time do we have till?
12.
Noon.
Oh, we do. So we got time. This is awesome. Okay. Part of it is because I didn't think we had the extra hour. So I spent an hour before this doing research.
Okay.
So now I feel very, very rich in time. Okay. Sorry. Say that last thing again. This was about Elon. Okay. So here is my thing with Elon. I have a base assumption in life that you want to focus entirely on, there is a place that I want to get to. I have a North Star, a destination. I'm trying to get to this place. And then I want to ask myself, what are the most effective, efficient things that I could do to get to that place? Whenever you're starting something new, you want to ask yourself one simple question. Has anybody ever done this well before? And if they have, you want to go to that case study and you want to look closely at it. And you're trying to do a turnaround of America. You're saying America's about to head off a fiscal cliff, which is true. You're saying that there's this deep state that is fighting against the will of the people. Oh God. Remind me at some point to talk about James Burnham's hypothesis on the will of the people. So you have a unelected fourth branch of government trying to thwart the will of the people as represented by their election of a president. And so you, as the new CEO of America, should be asking yourself, okay, has anybody ever done a turnaround of this size before? Not this size, but on a very large scale. And the name you will come up with is Elon Musk. Elon Musk has done the largest corporate turnaround in history, as far as I know, which was the turnaround of Twitter, now X. And it is going to be studied for decades. It is unbelievable what he did. Absolutely unbelievable. He is arguably the most effective capital allocator of our time. Okay, I say that a lot, and I worry that people don't know what capital allocation means. Okay, what makes for a really great entrepreneur? A really great entrepreneur understands how to mobilize two forms of capital, money and people. Money. So you make money and you have to decide where that money goes. And if you put it into the right places, it creates a product that people really want and therefore creates money that you can use in your company to continue to do things. So Elon came into a company that was absolutely hemorrhaging capital. It was racing towards bankruptcy, exactly as America's hemorrhaging capital and racing towards bankruptcy. And he realized, oh, I'm up against a workforce, aka deep state inside of Twitter, that is creating a lot of these problems. And so I'm going to have to go in and reallocate capital, financial capital, and human capital. And he did it in has he been there for 3 years? So in this ridiculously short amount of time, he does this absolutely insane thing. Now, I get it. Like, you don't have to like him and you don't have to believe that his motives are pure, but you do have to accept that in terms of credibility based on recent performance, there is nobody else that's done what he's done. And I get it. Right now, we're living in a cultural moment where people fucking hate rich people and they fucking hate corporations. And so they just bring all that bias and are like, this is trash. But this is why, guys, okay, remember, my whole thing is I really believe that you can come to an understanding of how the world works that helps you and your family, okay? An understanding of how the world works that helps you and your family. To do that, you've got to push yourself to the middle, even if you don't have the impulse to be in the middle, because it's going to allow you to assess ideas from either side and say, which of these ideas has the most utility? So this is why I can sit down with people on the left, I can sit down with people on the right, and I'm not asking myself, do I think that they are right about everything? I'm asking myself, do they have a high utility idea? This is my obsession with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was MMA before MMA existed. And he said, I don't want to be a kung fu guy. I want to be a guy who gets into a fight and understands that sometimes you got to poke somebody in the eyes. And so he said, from any discipline, take what works and discard the rest. Take what works and discard the rest. So again, love or hate Elon Musk, he is the most extraordinary capital allocator alive for sure, potentially ever. You don't want to pass that guy up. Why he's willing to do it is twofold. I think he actually does believe that he's saving democracy, and I think he believes that he can position things to be better for himself. It is what it is. So my thing is, whenever you can align your selfish desires, you're in good shape. And I think right now, Elon's selfish desires are aligned with the selfish desires. This is going to piss people off, but I believe this to be true. Elon's selfish desires are aligned with the poorest people in America. Why do I say that? Because you have to stop deficit spending. Remember, deficit spending steals from the poor, steals from everybody equally, but it only gives to the rich. So if you can stop deficit, if you can stop the overspending, then you can stop the deficit growing which means that you don't have to print money, which means printing money is the way that they steal from everybody, again, but only give to the wealthy. So you've got the richest guy on earth, and I fucking hate that people just keep saying that as if it automatically disqualifies him. You've got the richest man on earth literally fighting for things that will both make his life better, obviously, I'm not denying that, but will also make the lives of the poorest Americans better. That's why I say if you don't understand what's happening with inflation, all of this stuff is going to be so fucking confusing. You will not understand. Elon didn't want to be attacked by the government. So for sure, he was radicalized by the Biden administration. There's no denying that. So a big part of this was him just not wanting to go through the same kind of lawfare that Trump went through. But it's also that he wants to, even if he wants to do this only so that he can position things so his companies can continue to grow, fine. But he's going to do it by saving us from driving off a fiscal cliff, which will help the poorest Americans. Word.
Most people watch YouTube on TVs than on phones now.
Say that again?
More people watch YouTube on TVs than on phones now.
Really?
It's crazy, right?
That is
I
crazy.
agree.
What's even crazier, though, is that more of our audience watches us on phones. So what does that say?
Yeah.
How do you know that they watch it? You
It's
get the
in
data.
YouTube analytics.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever watched YouTube on my phone.
I'm sorry, what's happening right now? Do you watch it on your computer or only your TV?
I'm gonna out myself right now.
Please.
Uh-oh.
I'm not really a YouTuber.
Dun,
like
dun,
person.
dun.
What just happened?
How dare you?
I don't really like watch YouTube at all. I used to a lot.
Do you?
I know I work
Do
for
we
you.
have to have you arrested? What's going on right now?
It's just
What do you do?
I don't really watch stuff anymore. Like I watch Twitch sometimes, but I mostly just listen to things now for background noise rather than
So just podcasts?
no.
No. So wait, you're
Like-
playing YouTube, but because you're not looking at it, you don't count it as YouTube?
No, I don't watch YouTube.
But you just say you listen to things. What are you listening to?
So like music.
Oh. Whoa.
I know Straw Hat Eunice isn't subscribed to Impact Theory.
This is crazy.
No, I am. That's a lie.
Oh, it's making a noise again? Sorry, my bad.
No, I am. It's just I don't know. I as I get older, I think I just
I'm
stop
aghast.
watching things.
I wish I had pearls so I could clutch them right now. This is pure insanity.
Because I feel like if I'm going to sit down and watch something, it's like I have to really lock in to watch.
What are you trying to learn right now in your life?
What am I trying to learn?
Yeah. The repetition of that question makes me think the answer is nothing.
What do you mean?
What are you trying to learn right now?
In my life?
Yes.
How to be a better person?
Really?
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Okay, who are the thinkers that you're pursuing?
Well, I listen to some audiobooks right now.
Okay. Throw out a name.
There's a guy who's see, I'm going to out myself. There's a guy whose book I'm reading, and it's a collection of his books. And his name is Neville Goddard.
Neville Goddard. Don't know.
And he talks about, don't Google it, Drew. I see you typing over there.
But the thing I'm trying to wrap my head around is you said that you don't watch anything, you listen. When I said, what do you listen to? You didn't say Neville Goddard, you said music.
Music, yeah, because I feel like if I'm like washing dishes or something, I'm like listening to music.
Really?
Yeah.
So for you,
Yeah.
it's like I want to feel good and I've got to do this boring task and music uplifts me and
Correct.
this feels great.
But if I'm like, and if I'm like doing, like if I'm doing something at the computer, like if I'm playing a game, it's just game sounds usually. Or like something that I can't even pay attention to on the other monitor because I'm paying attention to the game.
Right.
But if I'm like getting ready for the day, like in the mornings,
Music.
a little audiobook.
Got it. Wow.
But I don't really watch it.
You don't do YouTube. That's a trip.
Yeah.
That is a trip. And this is why you can make all the world's information free and some people still won't avail themselves of it. That is a real trip to me.
That's why I kind of brought it up. I was like, this is like an interesting kind of like consumption patterns, habits, like, just to break it up. I didn't know if you wanted to kind of talk about something like this or
Well,
go knee deep.
Maybe at the end of the episode, I'm hoping there's something more interesting going on in the world of gaming or AI or something that we can get into. I find that mildly interesting that people are watching it on TV, but not necessarily coverage worthy.
Just to shout out some chat
Let's go.
right now.
Yes, please.
That's crazy. I'm sorry, I just read something. That I'm not going to say out loud. YouTube is educational. I watch YouTube on my TV through my phone. The plumber speaks. I'd like to discuss the correlation between the amount of currency in a system compared to the amount of people using it. This seems to be the metric that should be used to identify inflation.
Sorry, say that again. They said my flirty word, inflation.
I'd like to discuss the correlation between the amount of currency in a system compared to the amount of people using it. This seems to be the metric that should be used to identify inflation.
It doesn't matter the amount of people using it. It matters the amount of goods to purchase with it. But now they're talking about velocity of money. Velocity of money does matter. But it's one of those, this is where I think people start hiding behind complexities I'm sure he just knows so much about it that he's on to the next part of the equation. But for me right now, because the world doesn't understand inflation, getting onto velocity of money is you're just going to leave everybody in the dust. But velocity of money goes like this. This is why people are afraid of deflation, which they should not be afraid of deflation. You should be afraid of a crisis-led deflation. That you should worry about. Meaning something very bad happens. People stop spending money because they are absolutely terrified. And then prices go down because people are just trying to find a way to get people to buy stuff. That's bad. But you don't have to have a crisis create deflation. Technology creates deflation. AI is going to be wildly deflationary, wildly. So keep that in mind. But velocity of money just means people are spending money. It's moving around. So this, you have to understand that one person's debt, meaning you owe somebody money, is somebody else's asset, meaning they own a thing, debt, that's going to pay them money, the principal plus the interest. And so you want an economy where that money is moving around so that people essentially feel rich, so that they'll feel rich, because feeling rich feels good. And people are far more likely to build and innovate and all that stuff when people feel rich. But that's sort of that is velocity of money, which is what I think they're getting at. But again, far less important right now. Victor Davis Hanson, DH, we have stalked him. We are so trying to get him on the show. Tom, you have the I'm smarter than the average American because I'm wealthy vibes. Bro, I don't know what to do. I can't help you. I certainly don't believe that. Yeah, sorry.
Tom is spicy this morning.
Well, if we're going to do this, then first of all, people can say what they want. I don't mind. Say whatever you believe to be true, but I'm also not going to not respond. I don't know. Stuff like that, it just doesn't go anywhere. But
Love it.
What's up? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm making fun of Eunice for not watching YouTube.
That's crazy.
Bro,
Please let's not bring
it's
it up
crazy.
anymore.
Yeah, almost went off the road with that one.
Yeah.
I'm like I said,
That
I used
makes
to watch
all
it
of
a
us.
lot. I'm trying to spend less time on the computer now. So
Okay. Back
the
to the
plumber
episode.
speak said, people spending creates inflation, people saving creates deflation. We need to have a culture of saving instead of spending.
That isn't true, though. So what creates inflation? So this is where now we're getting into, again, the nitty gritty. Does this really matter? I ended up leaving this out of the inflation episode for a reason. But technically, the reason it's called inflation is because inflation is the inflation of the money supply. And there is a 0.9 correlation between the money supply, the amount of money injected into that supply, and inflation as prices going up, 0.9. So 1 would be a perfect correlation, meaning they're just every dollar you put in, you get $1 worth of inflation. It's not quite that, but holy hell, is it close. So you can think of them as the same phenomenon. That will have the highest predictive validity. Dost thou feel me, bro?
Fanboy Gaming over on Twitch says, well, first of all, welcome Fanboy Gaming. For AI News, Elon is saying Grok 3 will be better than anything on the market so far. And on the other side, Sam Altman says GPT 4.5 and 5 will be released in the next few months and will be smarter than the best coder in the world. O3 just came out being 90.
Wait. Say the Sam one again.
Sam Altman says GPT 4.5 and 5 will be released in the next few months and will be smarter than the best coder in the world. O3 just came out being 99%.
Whoa. We got to cover that.
Smarter than the best coder in the world.
Hold on. If that ends up being true, that is transformative. That's like open the episode with spicy.
And let me finish that sentence. It says O3 just came out being 99 percentile on code forces.
But I haven't heard people respond like that. So that makes me worry. Like, how long has that been out?
I want to say it
The
came out last
O3.
Friday.
Yeah, it's been out for a minute.
Like a
so
week?
I'm not seeing anybody hype it like that. So that tells me that it might not be as good as he would like us to believe. But he said 4 and 4.5 will be out in the next few months and will be better than the smartest coder alive.
AI is on track to be 3 times better every year from now on.
3 times.
3 times. That's specifically with DH.
3 times? Okay, exponential growth is 2x, is doubling, so 2x.
And we're getting clarity that
More than that?
O3
Christ.
O3 full has not been released, only O3 mini.
So was he talking about O3 full?
No, I think it was the 4.5 and the 5.
No, but she said something about O3 full. Go back to O3. What did he
O3
say about, you said, let me finish the sentence.
O3 came out being 99%. Came out being 99 percentile on code forces. Femboy Gaming is saying.
Okay, so are we assuming then that O3 means O3 full and he's got
O3
just like
full
inner
is better
scoop?
than the best coder, not O3 mini. So O3 full not being released yet will be better than the best coder in the world. Once
When
it
is
releases.
O3 full coming out?
Let us.
Guys, this is like rock my world information.
Please provide links in chat. Femboy. I would love to see
3x
'em.
a year is that is a rate of change that will cause riots.
He
in
just
the
announced
street.
it. Just announced it, apparently.
Okay. 3x increase in AI's abilities
Oh,
a year
he's
is
canceled.
riot in the streets.
He's canceled the O3 release on Twitter, is what it's saying.
Okay.
Let us see.
This is where you guys are going to help us out because we're getting conflicting information.
Yep.
Or at least I'm interpreting what you guys are saying is conflicting information. We need to figure out what this is. But this is extremely helpful, chat. Extremely helpful. Say more.
We are. Yeah, a whole roadmap.
OpenAI cancels O3. Why?
We want to do a better job
In favor of
sharing-
unified release. What does that mean? Sorry, Drew. Say that again.
I was reading the roadmap from Sam Altman's Twitter. We want AI to just work for you. We realize how complicated our models and product offers have gotten. We hate the model picker as much as you do and want to return to magic unified intelligence. We will ship GP 4.5, the model we called Orion internally, as our last non-chain of thought model. After that, a top goal for us is to unify O series models and GPT series models by creating systems that can use all our tools, know when to think for a long time or not, and generally be useful for a very wide range of tasks. In both ChatGPT and our API, we will release ChatGPT 5 as a system that integrates a lot of our technology, including O3, and we will no longer ship O3 as a standalone model. The free tier of ChatGPT will get unlimited chat access to GPT-5 at the standard intelligence settings, subject to abuse thresholds. Plus subscribers will be able to run 5 at a higher level of intelligence, and Pro subscribers will be able to run 5 at an even higher level of intelligence. These models will incorporate voice, canvas, search, deep research, and more.
We gotta, yeah, I'm putting for my intro, I'm putting that smarter than any coder because that is, that's going to be amazing and terrifying all at the same time.
You don't think there's a model out there currently that's smarter than a person?
No, not even close.
Going back to like your IQ scale, because I don't believe in IQ, but like even like the literal moron.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you've got, what are they're clocking it at like 111 or something right now in terms of its IQ. But in terms of saying to it, go do this thing, It won't catch like when it's getting off track. So it can do really narrow things incredibly well. But this is why I have not seen anything I would consider general intelligence. Now, there are things that absolutely melt my brain. That's why I'm freaking out. Like, to think in a year, AI will be 300% what it is now, dude. If he's saying that for the foreseeable future, you're going to be 3x. This is where you go from Einstein's only 2.4 times smarter than a moron. So now look, using IQ scale for AI may just be a non-functional way to think about it, but that's really okay. Let me start making this specific so that it isn't just a bunch of hyperbole. Okay, so right now you can take an image, and you can turn it into a video. And you can kind of see, like, if you know what the person looks like, you can tell that they're like, it's getting weird and that they're not able to see it. Now imagine something 3 times better. The level of persistence, the level of, oh, this just is real. So I'll give you another example. So AI getting 3 times better means it will be indistinguishable from reality. Okay, that's one year. It's now indistinguishable from reality. So I now, literally 2 days ago, took a photo of my wife laughing, and I prompted it. Woman goes from laughing to crying, and then it animated it, and she goes from laughing to crying. I showed it to my wife. Now, she knew she didn't cry, so she was like, "Oh my gosh," she was freaking out, couldn't believe that AI did that. But she didn't realize I started with a photo. She thought it was already video. So I was like, no, I started with a static photo. So now imagine things like there will be good and there will be bad. Imagine things like your kid goes on a class trip and you say, remember, call me if anything happens. And somebody drops a virus onto their phone, or maybe they won't even have to do that. And that kid calls mom, and mom's like, I don't trust this. I know that AI can spoof this stuff, so call me on video. And so they call you on video, and the background will be right for where you're supposed to be. Maybe the mom even checks the pin, because before you left, she was like, I'm going to track where you're at. So she drops the pin and she sees where that person is at. The video's being done on the fly and showing her exactly their kid in that location. And mom's like, okay, but I still know they can fake it. So say the word potato. The kid says potato. Mom says, go grab your friend Timmy. And then I know that this is real. And he goes and grabs Timmy and brings Timmy into frame. And it's all being AI generated in a year. Dude, that's 300% improvement in a year. Now, that is a rate of change that is going to drop on society like a bomb. Okay, why else do I say that?
Just interrupt real quick.
Yeah, please.
Tom, you've got a Slack message from me, and then also in the Tom Bilyeu Show, 2 links were dropped in there from our Twitch chatters regarding this AI stuff. And we've got people here in the chat saying that as a coder, it's already doing most of my coding. I mostly tweak it sometimes and make isolated scripts work together. So people are already using it. And we've also got somebody else.
But hold on. Would they say that it is smarter than the best coder ever? No, they would not. So if he's saying that in the next few months, that means by midsummer at the outside, that you're talking about AI is better than any coder alive, you're up against people like Eliza Yudkowsky and like these crazy names that have built AI itself. Like, that's nuts. That is nuts. So let's say he's off and it's a year from now. Dude, if it's a year from now, that means I'm not hiring coders anymore. I'm hiring somebody that can, in natural language, just say what we're looking for, or I'll just do it myself. Wow. This is where I go, like, I'm excited, but whoa, is this going to be a thing? This is going to be a thing.
Someone's saying the huge models still need a bigger context window to handle.
Wait. SC2, is SC2 right? Or am I misremembering the quote? It's more productive, all caps, than the best coder ever. Didn't he say smarter?
Somebody else in Twitch chat said smarter.
Okay, we got to be careful here.
The video that you shared, it's the AI model ranks 50th best competitive programmers were, and by the end of 2025, their model will be ranked number 1.
By the end of 2025. Where do you see that?
I just dropped the link in the chat under AI.
All right, let's take a look.
We got to figure out what this is, yo.
Better cables.
It's a mic. We gotta take the mic in for service.
Let us do exactly that. All right. Where? We're going to be bad TV for a minute, chat. Bear with us.
I don't have to be bad TV. I could read chat. We've got Maxwell saying the huge models still need a bigger context window to handle full code bases. Gemini is actually closest right now, I believe. They have an experimental reasoning model that has 1 million token window, just about as good as the other reasoners. Tom Tranmer says, as a coder, AI helps when I'm stuck, but understanding the code is still the most important thing for personal maintainability. Oscar says, being better than the smartest coder would be so amazing, but you don't need the smartest coder for most things. It's already smarter than the average coder, or people who don't even know how to code.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody's more hyped on AI than me, but it can't even give me like a web page. So it'll give you clunky shit. Like you'll see all the AI people that do stuff on like Instagram, they'll be like, code me a 90s style web page because it can do it instantly. But we looked at like doing WebGL, which is like the modern websites. And don't get me wrong, it's already leaps and bounds ahead, but it's not something where I could just go and type in, give me a page like this, and it will output it. Again, it's leaps and bounds ahead, but it isn't like when you actually start trying to put this stuff in a production ready environment, you realize, oh, there's still gaps. What I'm reading with what he's saying is that by the end of this year, there won't be gaps. And if that ends up being true, I mean, it's just going to decimate programmers, full stop. What would have been an environment with 10 coders becomes 1. Imagine lopping off 90% of coders in the next, call it 2 years. Like that's nuts. That's nuts. Clear Glass Studios. When we're not prepping for an episode, I'll happily go into stuff like that. Wow.
Tanzim says, just joined. What are you talking about?
Right now, so we're prepping for an episode of the Tom Bilyeu Show, which we'll be recording probably starting at about 10:30. And so every day, we never know what we're going to be covering because we try to be in the thick of whatever's popping off in culture. And so we're talking about that. And right now, I'm legitimately shook because of the Sam Altman announcement that by the end of 2025, their AI, which is not the only AI, but their AI will go from 50th place in talent of coder to first place. That is so transformative. Yeah, there goes the learn to code meme. Super Blue, you are not wrong. 5 years from now, this is very high today, maybe every day after this. 5 years from now, the world will be upside down. Yeah. It's crazy. Kennedy just confirmed as health secretary. We need to cover that for sure.
Yeah, I had to tell us.
Awesome. Matt Ludlow, you're talking about mass job losses for coders. We have to talk about the legitimate discussion for UBI. The market has been telling kids to learn software engineering. Now industry pulling the rug. Yeah, Matt, I don't think people were being sinister with that. It's just who can keep up. Like this is a rate of change that is going to be like getting hit in the head. I won't out this person, but somebody said to me yesterday, I'm glad I don't have kids because looking into the future of what it will be like for them is terrifying. Now, I will say this. I choose as an act of faith. I choose as an act of faith to believe that the future is going to be better than the past. I'm not going to be able to give you a gazillion reasons for it. So I certainly understand anybody that has anxiety. But just so you don't get confused when 10 minutes from now, I step back into my faith that the world is going to be more amazing than it is now. That's why I unfortunately am not doing it on things that I can see, because right now the rate of change, we are, at least for people with my simplistic mind, we are already at the technological singularity, meaning I cannot see more than, until that tweet, I would have said I can see about 3 years into the future. Now I'm not so sure. But I can't see very far into the future. And that's the first time in my life that it's felt like that the future is frosted glass. I can see shapes, but I don't know what those shapes are. So as an act of faith, I am going to believe that the future is going to be better. I think that is the right way to approach it, not blindly, not that you don't do things to make sure that comes true. But I think it unwise to allow yourself to become paralyzed, and you need optimism to move forward. So again, always I do the thing that has the highest utility of getting me to where I want to end up. I think optimism is the highest utility thing that you can have. So again, I say that just so you guys aren't confused about why, like in a moment like this, I am legitimately, my breath has been taken away. But I'll be back on that optimism tip in mere minutes.
Got King Kalia saying, people will need to learn management and systems engineering to put AI agents together in a way that creates emergent value.
Yes. However, Drew, is that how we say it? I think it's going to look like this. I want you to imagine the world as we know it is a plate of glass. And that plate of glass is actually large companies. And these large companies aggregate capital, and they give you very, very, very cool things in return for aggregating that capital. And what's going to happen is that sheet of glass is going to be dropped. And what it's going to do is it's going to shatter into a million little companies. And you guys are going to be those little companies. And what's going to happen is the age of the solopreneur, which we thought was, now, you will realize is not now. This is not the age of the solopreneur. The age of the solopreneur, it sounds like, is 26 or maybe 27. And everyone is, not everyone. A very distressing number of people are going to lose their jobs. And those people are going to realize that they have two choices. They can either clamor for UBI, which I don't think we're ready for. I don't think would work yet, not as currently envisioned. Or they're going to start their own thing. And so I think about that a lot as a company, because right now we've been working really hard to go upstream with our business education and help people scale their business. So let's say you're already at 10 million and you want to do 100 million, or you're at 100 million and you want to do 1 billion. That is what we've been focusing on. But the more I run my actual thesis on where the world is going, the more I'm like, actually, I think we need to be focusing in the exact opposite direction and helping people become solopreneurs. I have a feeling that's just where this goes. Hello, Spirit Talk with Lizzie. Flowers. That's what I needed. I didn't know I needed them, Drew, but there they are. I needed some flowers in the chat.
There it is. Are you a flower? Yeah, you buy Lisa flowers. I remember, I want to say like her birthday or something.
Because she can hear my voice right now, I'm not talking about flowers right now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
David Summerly on YouTube said,
not on February 13th.
David Summerly on YouTube said, having my Twitch name called out earlier was exciting. That was very eye-opening. If I'm feeling that way, knowing how much I don't need that, that's a very powerful thing.
Facts. When will robots be able to replace HVAC techs? Sage, you probably got a few extra years on that one. So the rollout of bots is going to look something like this. This year, you'll get on production floors at all the robot companies. They'll start using their own bots, but in relatively small quantity, maybe 1,000. In 26, you're going to see that number jump. and you're probably going to have 100,000 robots, humanoid robots deployed in real scenarios. In 27, you're probably going to see that number jump to maybe 10 million. But there'll be it will take a certain amount of time to build the production facilities, scale them up. So when is an HVAC tech going to have to worry? I don't know, call it 7 to 10 years. You got some time on that one. You have plenty of time to adjust. That's the good thing about moving atoms around. If your job is physical in the world, it's not that it's beyond getting replaced, but it will be a lot slower. Yeah, 3D printing, Ian, is nuts.
Someone said, SC2 Alexandros on YouTube said, unions in 2025? Union is just another layer of middle management that serves the interested of the company, in effect, like HR. Society is cutting out the middle management positions at the moment.
Yeah, this is not a time to be the squeaky wheel. I know how that sounds coming from somebody who runs a company, but I'm just telling you right now, you don't want to incentivize people to, you don't want to incentivize people to want to replace you, because they're going to have more and more opportunities to replace you. So this is the time to be the killer, the one that everybody's like, yo, I don't want to let that person go. That person's amazing. They're fun to be around. They're so good at their job. They're getting more efficient by using AI. But the problem is, as AI comes online, that's going to cause people to go the exact opposite direction, and they are going to want to throw penalties on the field and say, you shouldn't be able to do this, and you've got to keep me, and that is going to cause people to deploy AI as fast as they can, so that they don't have to hire more people who are creating the problems. Oh, God.
Ribsy.
Yeah, going to be a weird time.
Thanks for the follow, Ribsy.
Ribsy.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I feel I owe you some more optimism. So, Ribsy, we're going to use you as a vibe change here. Ribsy, thank you for the follow. We're back in it now, everybody. As an act of faith, I am pulling that optimism forward. And as a reminder, you control your emotions. Do not let them control you. So, I'm going to change my vibe. And we're also going to remember that we have less than an hour to lock in this episode.
And we've got Yeti Bandit saying, your ability to use the physics of progress is going to be essential with the rise of AI.
Ain't that the truth?
Ribsy says, super thrilled to be here.
Super thrilled to have you.
Thank you, Ribsy.
All right. Are we missing anything, chat, in the news? Let's give a look-see here on X. Got Robert, RFK confirmed. We got that. Kash Patel's FBI nomination advances. Amid perjury claims. Don't know much about that one. Don't think we need to cover that for now. Munich attack. Injures 28 in car ramming incident. Man.
Someone in the chat just said reciprocal tariffs. That's all they said.
Oh, is there something new popping off? I don't see anything.
We'd love to see more. Serwin in chat said, thanks, Drew and Tom, for helping provide such mind-opening discussions and viewpoints. Love your show.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that
And
very
then
much.
they followed that up with, I seriously want to do mushrooms sometime with Tom. Haha.
Tom is terrified of mushrooms, or at least I'll say just scared enough that he hasn't done them yet. I microdosed, but it didn't do anything for me. It just made me feel like I was a little bit tipsy. And I was like, no extra colors, no extra creativity. Don't know. Didn't do much. Every day something in Germany. Well, that's not what we want to hear, DH. DH, are you in Germany? If so, tell us more about this Munich thing.
G. Paul says, love your authenticity, both you and Drew. Drew, more than you.
Drew
Winky
more
face.
than me. Hey,
What happened?
call it as you see it. G. Paul thinks you're more authentic than me. I take that personally, Drew. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not gonna lie. You know how it's the Elon thing, man. Like, you make a lot of money, you have a successful YouTube channel. You know, what's that Dark Knight quote? You live
Long enough to see yourself become the
You
villain.
know what I mean? It's one of
Yeah,
those things
yeah.
where they love you when they're like, oh, okay. Then when they see the progress, then it becomes like, oh. So yeah, everybody loves me now. And then when me and you go to the moon, then everybody.
Let's go. Can we go to Mars? Let's go to Mars.
Let's go to Mars.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm trying to find the Jessup Cation quip in the Piers Morgan thing.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm locked in for this.
All right. Word.
Maxwell Wynn says, I would love a video that breaks down a list of Doge actions from their Twitter or elsewhere and your take on each one or something.
Oh, Jesus.
So
I'll be honest, man. Look, Maxwell wins. If enough people clamor for something like that, would I finally buckle down and do it? Sure, I want to do stuff that you guys think is valuable, but that does not align with my personality. So I'm a get the gist kind of guy, which I fully expect to wind some people up. I'm not a like facts and figures guy. I want to understand how something works well enough that I can deploy that knowledge in my life. But to go line by line with Doge does not feel necessary. That's why I was saying earlier, the way to understand me is that I have a goal of where I'm trying to get to, and I'm looking for the high utility beliefs that are going to get me there. Now, what makes something high utility? It's high utility when it is closest to the truth. So I'm sort of seeking the truth, but only in as much as the truth is just useful. So you will find that the closer you get to what is actually objectively true, the more it's able to help you get where you want to go. But that's the thing that drives me. I am driven by goals and actually getting there as efficiently as possible. Trump, Putin calls sparks peace talks on Ukraine. Okay, this could be interesting.
Phoenix, the Twitch channel is just twitch.tv/Tom Bilyeu.
Indeed. Drew, we probably should include something on the Trump, Putin, Ukraine
I seen a
peace
meeting.
negotiations.
Yeah, I heard a meeting. I don't know if there's like a date.
They had a call. Basically, I don't know how much of this is public, so we should see if there are words out of Trump's own mouth. But his tweet or his True Social post reads, "Great talks with Russia and Ukraine yesterday. Good possibility of ending that horrible, very bloody war." And people are reporting that basically he's taking a really pragmatic approach, that they're going to have to, Ukraine is going to have to be willing to accept that there's some losses of territory, and basically to redraw the lines and say, we're not going to put them into NATO. But I know that right now we are either building or leveraging a base in Romania that is like basically aimed right at Russia, to say, okay, maybe the Ukraine's not going to be NATO, but we're going to build a base bigger than what we have in Ramstein, Germany, in Romania, to like block or to be a deterrent for anything that Russia might do on that side of the country. So, I mean, this is the angle that I'd want to talk about this from, is the angle of Trump, strongman diplomacy, trying to get deals done, but like understanding the Solzhenitsyn line, that the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. And so he may say, I respect Putin. He's a strong guy, like loves his country, whatever. But at the same time, he's going to aim a whole bunch of fucking military at him and be like, this is what I want to see happen. And as you may have noticed, I'm amassing a whole lot of troops near your border. So it's interesting, man. We are living in a strong man era. Like, this is what it looks like to have a guy that he's just aggressive, like very aggressive. And what I find fascinating is the like, hey, I want to negotiate. I want to get this done. I'm all for it. But just I'm not going to pretend that I'm not backing this all up with violence. It's just all out there on the sleeve. And that ruffles a lot of feathers, because that has not been the international diplomatic strategy for basically my entire life. Certainly since the end of the Cold War, it's been like really diplomatic, meaning you're putting a face on something. at the end of the day, we were still manipulating governments, doing coups, assassinating people. But the veneer on the surface was way more plausible deniability. Like, let's literally be diplomatic about it. And Trump's just like, yeah, I mean, I think he's going to do the right thing, but if he doesn't, I got a whole fucking military, knocking at his door. Yeah. It's a very different strategy. Same with, oh my God, we have to talk about the fucking Saturday deadline. Like we have, but because it's when this episode drops, it will be the next day. So all eyes on what happens there. Like, I will be very interested to see, do terrorist organizations respond in the same way that, say, Putin is going to respond?
President of Colombia, how he responded.
Yeah, well, that I think you can rest assured is not going to be true, because there you have economic power, whereas you don't have any economic power, because the words coming out of his mouth about Gaza are, we're just going to take the bitch over.
Hey, I'm interrupting here. Sarth on YouTube says, does he read chat? And he does read chat.
I do. So here's how it will go, chat, because I think it is the whole idea of chat is to engage with chat. And so that is Eunice's role. If you guys are saying something that, because what you've shown up for right now is episode prep. So episode prep will have a different tenor than me just sitting there engaging with chat. So if I'm engaging with chat, then obviously it's just going to be back and forth. If we're doing episode prep, then we have a limited amount of time to get it done. And so the first hour is like hardcore. I'm just watching what you guys are saying and we're dialoguing back and forth, but we have to be filming in about 40 minutes. So as we get closer to the time where we have to shoot the episode, then we're going to disengage a little bit from chat. But Eunice is there, and I shouldn't say a little bit, we're going to disengage from chat. Eunice will still be engaging with you guys. She's reading everything that comes through. If she doesn't acknowledge something you said, either because she's reading it as toxic or off topic or whatever. But if you're bang on, like right now, our ask of you guys is if you think there's something that we're missing in the news, please drop it in. And so Eunice will certainly interrupt us with that so that we can see what you guys want to make sure that we cover. That would be great. But a lot of it is just that it is off topic for what we're trying to get done here. Doesn't mean it's not interesting. Doesn't mean it's not important, that we'll cover another time and hopefully you'll bring back up. But does mean that it's not what we're zooming in on right now to get this across the finish line. And obviously totally understand if episode prep isn't going to be everybody's bag. But the idea is that we're going to be going live. Like, how many hours a day are we going to go live for, Eunice?
5
hours. So we'll go live roughly 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday now. So sometimes I won't even be on camera. Sometimes it'll be an episode that's playing. And then sometimes it's going to be like this, where we're here and we're live. And so for the first hour of this, it was a lot of back and forth with chat. But now we got to zoom in. Straw Hat, thank you. Appreciate that.
Alejandro says, any chance you can have a topic covering California politics, specifically Newsom's unwavering desire to combat Trump rather than focusing on California
Is that
today?
popping off right now?
That's popped off right here in the chat.
Let's look into it. I haven't seen anything on
says
X that
they're
it has any
attempting another
momentum right
recall
now.
for Newsom, is what somebody else has said.
Let's go. I'll jump on board with that.
For the justification thing, he just kind of reads his tweet, so I'm trying to figure out where the...
But he does say that in the interview, right?
He says it, and he's like, if you mind, I'm going to read it. And then he's like pulling his phone out, so I'm trying to figure out...
Does he ever read it, or does he get interrupted?
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what he's reading versus going to the video, us watching him read it.
I see. Got it. So you're just trying to cut out the middleman.
A link, a tweet rather than the video.
Got it. Either one works for me. I just don't want to steal credit. I think he's got the right idea.
Ribsy's saying, did you get 2,000 new
Who's saying
JFK
this?
files? Ribsy. Did you get 2,000 new JFK files discovered?
I haven't seen that, no.
Ribsy, if you want to
wait, are they out? The JFK files are out?
Ribsy, did you get 2,000 new JFK files discovered?
So wait, in fact, chat, when are all these files dropping? Because you've got MLK, JFK, and RFK that are all supposed to be dropping, but I haven't heard a peep out of anybody going through them.
They said, no, the FBI discovered them.
Oh, so they still haven't released them. When are they releasing?
After Cash Patel gets confirmed.
Really? Wait, because the current guy won't do it?
Trump announced that the executive order to do it, but there's no head of that department now. So once Clash gets in, so it's basically you're telling a miscellaneous worker to do it versus okay, now the boss is in there. He's actually going to enforce that.
Mm-hmm. Got it. What are the perjury claims on Kash Patel? Has that got any heat?
I haven't even seen that. I need to jump into that too.
Someone said, I thought it was 45 days from inauguration.
That's when it was supposed to happen?
Yep.
We got to be coming up on that. I'm going to listen to this. If they're accurately representing
I'm not
it.
making an opinion on it, but I've read a lot on it, and a lot of people
Hold on.
think that it's good.
Have you seen any future in which Ukraine returns to screening country borders?
Well, I think Pete said today that that's unlikely, but it certainly would seem to be unlikely. They took a lot of land, and they fought for that land, and they lost a lot of soldiers. But it would just seem to me, and I'm not making an opinion on it, but I've read a lot on it, and a lot of people think that that's unlikely.
Interesting. Yeah, I would say probably not the ideal response, but I think this is definitely worth covering.
Jason says the inflation episode was awesome. Thanks a ton.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That episode means a lot to me. Speaking of high utility ideas.
Someone said, how can I stay focused and get things done when you keep putting out so much great content? You're too distracting.
Fair.
Enigma Bay, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Thank you. Hey Tom, long-time follower, first-time chatter.
Let's go.
What are your thoughts on the political landscape for 2028 and beyond? Younger generations may begin to use their voting power.
I mean, let's hope they do. I would say it is way too early to make prognostications about that. We need to see how the first 2 years of Trump goes, or first 18 months, before we start looking at what happens to the House and Senate. If Trump is able to create deflation in America, which remember is not bad, that would be amazing. If Trump is able to create deflation in America, I think that he will own the House and the Senate for another 2 years. If at the end of the 4 years, people are materially better off, the government deficit is down, people feel like he's rooted out corruption, you're going to see, almost certainly, you'll see another Republican get elected. If he doesn't, then certainly in the first 2 years, the House and Senate will flip. He'll be embattled for the second 2 years. He'll be proper lame duck. And then all bets are off, and it will largely come down to the personality of the candidates running and who can paint a better vision of America. And it's just so early. He's come in so hardcore in these first. I mean, it is freaky to think he has not been in office for a month. He's only been in office for, 23 days? I mean, it's absolute pandemonium how fast he's come in and made changes. So all those changes are, I think, at a minimum, emotionally destabilizing. I can feel the country sort of pulling at each other, at least if you're chronically online. That's what it feels like. So we shall see. We need more time.
This one's a little off topic, but Clear Glass Studio says, Tom, what kind of food do you eat on a daily basis?
All right, because we're so close to the ep, I'm going to have to ignore that one for now. But I love you guys. And right now, for anybody that cares, and Eunice promises me that you guys care about the behind-the-scenes stuff, I'm writing the intro. So the first thing that I do, this really helps us crystallize what we call the heartbeat of the episode. And for any entrepreneurs out there, always write your marketing materials first. And so that's essentially the intro is the marketing material for the episode. It's like, if the intro doesn't sound compelling, then we're in trouble with the episode. So I write the intro, call it 30 minutes before, so I can make sure that we've got something good. And then this is where the episodes will often end up getting late because I'm like, we don't really have anything yet. This isn't strong enough. And then we end up pushing like another 30 minutes as we refine until we have something that we think is going to bang.
Sonic Sanctuary says, France announced ambitious plans to become the world's third largest AI hub after the US and China. The country plans to invest 109 billion euros in AI and aims to train up to 100,000 AI by 2030.
Won't matter. They've already lost.
The perjury thing is from CBS News. Seems like it's a Democratic attempt to delay the confirmation. He was supposed to get advance from that committee last week. They pushed it a week because they're saying that he perjured himself. The perjury action they're talking about is that he has preemptively announced some firings at the FBI before he even got there.
How's that perjury?
Because he said, they asked him about it, and he said he didn't do that.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, but he has on good authority that he does intend to do these things, and he lied. But,
Got it.
yeah,
We'll see. Probably not a lot to cover right now. Well, yeah, it's kabuki. That is exactly correct.
Drew, pull your mic in, please. That's what people are saying.
Oh, that. I was talking to Tom, guys. That wasn't a chat conversation. Thank you very much.
It's all for you, chat. It's all for you. That's very-
It's because I'm typing, so when I lean in, then the mic, so that's why I
yeah,
move it.
no, I feel your pain.
This is like the behind the scenes. You guys are actually seeing my actual frustrations. It's like, that's why I move stuff. I'm usually at my desk. My feet are up. I have to be proper. Yeah.
Not sure if I missed it, but have you guys talked about Musk talking at UAE summit?
No. Say more. Where is it
He
at?
talked
What was
about
he talking
getting GDP to 4 to 5% and a little bit on Grok 3 being smarter than everything else.
I didn't hear the Grok thing, but I did hear the thing about the economy. He's certainly right about that.
Goldfish says, I checked on the JK files. The 45 days line was valid after review from 1/23, scheduled tentatively for 3/9/2025. So March 9th.
Still got a bit of time.
Swagger Jack says, thank you for this podcast. Thank you for joining us, Swagger Jack.
No joke.
Sheesh.
Yeeshing, anything you want to share?
Breaking, at least 12 injured, some critically, after a hand grenade was thrown into a bar in Grenoble, France.
Whoa.
Grenoble. All the people in the chat that speak French.
Huh?
Did I say that right? Grenoble. When parler petite. No, pico. No.
What's happening
Pico.
right now?
I'm trying to say. So I speak Creole, which is Haitian Creole is a dialect broken up between French and like Spanish. So like if you drop me in France, I could like fake it, but
Really?
I don't actually speak like proper like French.
Huh.
So that's why some words it's like in Creole. It's
Unput would be a
petite.
little.
Huh?
Petite as well.
Yeah, it's like it's petite. So I think like PT. So I think it's PT, but
Petite, I think, is small.
Yeah.
Unput is a little,
yeah.
if I remember right.
So yeah.
Last thing I should be doing is trying to speak French.
DH, Tom, what is your current EDC? Your everyday carry? Is that what you're asking, DH? Well, we can answer that later. I'm like a bag. Philippe says, greetings from Colombia. This format of show is great. We learn about interesting world things.
That is the hope.
Someone said, with AI, we can all speak French.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Loving this area of Tom Bilyeu, says Enigma Bay.
I'm on that mono brand arc.
Tom, how are you preparing for post-labor economics, or what would you advise people?
Yeah, that we might have to do a scripted episode on that. And if we were covering that today, I would go into it as a way to rehearse my thoughts. But as we're not, I will say very good question. Answer coming at another time.
James says, I just discovered your channel about a week ago. Absolutely love it. I can now learn while I do other stuff.
Let's go.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Clear Glass Studio says, in a couple of years, you'll be able to make a Hollywood-level film on your phone, too, from AI. That is probably extremely true.
At 300% growth year over year, I'm not sure how many years that's going to be. That might be sooner than we think. Crazy.
Tom, are you using AI to write your intro?
No, we tried that, and you just can't train it enough in my voice yet. So we just found it faster to do myself, because if I wasn't engaging with chat, this usually only takes me like 15 minutes. But I keep getting distracted is the honest answer.
Shout out to RFK, man. I'm so happy for him.
You and me both. I'm happy for all of us.
I want all the red dyes and the blue greens and take the Takis away. Sorry, guys. Take them Takis away.
I don't even know that you have to take them away, but you have to make people aware of what they are.
Yeah, Lynn went through a Taki phase, and one time I was like, "Let's read the ingredients together."
Oof.
Do you know what red 18 is? Do you know what? You're just like, is that why my hands stay red? Yes, because it's paint. You're eating paint.
Isn't that like made from? It's made from like a parasite. I'm almost certain that's crushed parasites.
Yes.
Takis?
No,
Like
no,
the
no.
dye?
The
The
dye,
dyes that
red,
they use.
whatever.
Yeah.
Parasite?
This is one I would not put in the episode without looking up. So this chat, I'm popping off a little bit here because I like to treat this as like you guys are hanging out with us versus official opinions. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's either the red or the purple dye is from crushed parasite.
Is that what makes it addictive?
Well, that's a whole science.
Wow.
That's no one thing. That's a whole bunch of things.
I think we definitely need to just cover this chart.
Whoa.
Crushed beetle
Holy
shells.
shit.
Talking about
I had no idea.
exponential growth.
Whoa.
Cutting
Wow.
through. BYD
Wow.
is like it.
Well, that here's why tariffs in a single graph. Like literally. That's one of the things he always talks about.
No.
That's a great graph. Let's see. We have to think about how we're going to cover that though. I guess we could tie it to
Oh
the
yeah,
tariffs.
you are mid intro. Okay, on the list, what made it? I feel like I don't have an actual, like, I don't have an idea of what the actual rundown is. I see this Doge is all one interview, so we can kind of bounce around for that. I'm down with the Me X, but the Future Tech Death of Hollywood thing, did that make it, or is that just kind of placeholder?
No, I think that's a good one. I think we have two potential heartbeats. We've got AI. The 300% thing obviously really rocked me, and so I'm very eager to talk about that. You could go from that to what were you just saying about it?
The car exports?
No, right? Oh, you just said something. Fuck. Chat, what did he just say?
About AI? About
Yeah.
cars?
It was something tied to AI anyway.
The pinch to zoom Future Tech thing?
No,
The
let me look.
Death of Hollywood? No more.
Oh, the Hollywood. Yeah.
That one. Okay.
Okay, so you could go from AI improving by 300% year over year with the 4.0 and 4.5 coming out in months. Jumping, coding proficiency, Jesus Christ. Jumping from 50th place to first by end of 2025. So that would be a good run. So you've got AI improving by 300% year over year, 4.0 and 4.5 coming in months, coding proficiency jumping from 50th place to first place by end of 2025, Death of Hollywood and a whole bunch of other jobs. But we also have a political angle that we could do. I think, honestly, of all the things I've heard, the one that has the most juice is Trump saying Russia can keep the land, which then lets me go into Gaza, which lets me get into Machiavellians, which is a strong loop.
Swagger Jack, thank you for joining us. He says, hope y'all keep doing this. Everyone have a good day and please be excellent to each other.
Dude, I love that sign off. Who was that said that?
Swagger Jack Production.
Swagger Jack, let's go.
And now they
Please
just
be
put a little
excellent to
piece.
each other. I like it. First of all, a shout out to our boy Bill and Ted. And also just a good request. Indeed.
Enigma Bay says, in your disappearance for 6 months and level up, do you recommend socializing at all? It's so lonely. With the sad face.
Who said to disappear for 6 months?
I don't know. They just posted. Enigma Bay in Twitch says, in your disappear for 6 months and level up, do you recommend
Okay,
socializing?
so I
Maybe
think
you're
I know what
waiting-
they're,
you're
yeah, they're
waiting for-
queuing off of what I've said about put your head down and learn. It's a really, really good question. And if we weren't 19 minutes from episode record time, I would go into it. And remember, everybody in chat, there are different modes that we'll be in when we go live. And so we'll learn fast enough if we're better off just going off camera when we get to this part. And maybe you guys don't care because we're not acknowledging chat, and I would certainly understand that. But the beginning of this prep time, the first hour of prep time is like just engaging with you guys. So obviously, as we become more predictable with the schedule and all that, I think it'll be easier to understand when you want to be here and when you don't. But appreciate you letting us experiment with this stuff. All right, we definitely have a strong ep with the following. What we make the opening is a question, but we can flow from AI to improve by 300%, 4045 coming in months, coding proficiency jumping from 50th to 1st, death of Hollywood, death of coding, what that world looks like. In fact, one of my greatest hits, pockets of violence. But the Trump, Russia, land thing, I think that's important. Gaza, Machiavellians can feed into RFK as the new, dare I call it the new deep state? What do we want to hit on with Doge? In fact, maybe Doge comes first.
Actually, for Doge, we got a request that you guys review the doge.gov website.
Let's look at it. The people voted for major reform. That they did. That's interesting. He's laying this out almost like it's a Twitter feed.
Doesn't it look like that, right?
It's very smart.
Eric Kirby, thank you.
Good start by UsedGov. USEdGov. What the hell is that? Verified that these have all been canceled. Instead of improving outcomes for students, here's where taxpayer dollars were going. $4.6 million contract to coordinate Zoom and in-person meetings. $3.0 million contract to write a report that showed that prior reports were not utilized by schools. What the fuck? $1.4 million contract to physically... Oh, and this really does push to X. Wait, what the hell? Oh, these are embedded. $1.4 million contract to physically observe mailing and clerical operations. Well, none of those are great. Doge website is live. Xfeed posts, consolidated government org chart, enormous manual effort consolidating 16,000 plus offices. Summary of the massive regulatory state, including the unconstitutionality index, ratio of rules written. Yeah, it's going to take me to X again. Where'd that go? Ratio of rules written by unelected bureaucrats to laws passed by Congress. That's interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Elia Foster, welcome in. They said hi to
Inagamo.
you. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you.
DH, thanks for having me. Thanks for coming in, DH. Eric
Lawrence?
Kirby, this is how you build community.
Did we ever find out if DH is from Germany?
DH did not reply. DH, are you from Germany? Jordash, welcome in.
Jordash. OG. You going to come say hi? You got a dope outfit on today. I don't know how HR feels about the fact that we can see your underwear band, though. I kind of dig it, but it is.
It's called my-
Is everyone enjoying the live? How's everyone finding the live with you guys?
That is the question.
They are always behind the scenes prepping for these episodes, and so we get selfishly to hear all the conversations that go on. So I'm excited. I'm excited you guys get to see the behind the scenes.
I'm going to ask a question, though, while you're here on camera.
What
Which you can
about
consider being under oath.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually listened to us prep before? Or are you like, oh, God?
No, I've definitely listened
Really?
to you. Yeah.
Wow. Kind
Not
of
all
touched.
the time, but
Exag all the time. Lisa with the Wonderwear. That is nice, Straw Hat.
I'm so using that.
That's good. The Wonderwear.
But happy
I'm here for it.
Valentine's Day, everybody. It's Valentine's Day today. It's a place where you
It is indeed.
tell your girlfriends that you love them and what they mean to you. As in your friends, not your girlfriends if you're a guy. I was saying you should probably explain sometimes because you just scream like, Yinegamo! People probably have no idea what that means. So
So
me. I
my
love it.
yes, so my wife is technically Cypriot. And so despite the British accent, her family hails
Okay,
from Cyprus.
represent.
And they're going to hate this translation. I promise you, in Greek, if you want to say wife, you would say yinegamu. Now, the literal translation of yinegamu is my woman.
So the Greeks take it offensively.
Technically, no, they
But
don't.
we love it.
Greeks?
Don't you remember my Tim, my stepmom, came in. She's like, "It's offensive if you say you nega. It's almost like woman."
Really? I thought.
Yeah, no,
But
I love it.
wait, isn't that how they say
If
wife?
you say "I nega more," you're saying you are my wife. So that's lovely. If you just like nega, it's like woman.
Literally.
I love it. I love it the most. I'm just saying for your people out there.
That's
that may
so
be
funny.
Greek,
I actually
that
thought
may
Greek
then
people
use
said to
it.
their wife,
It's like,
"Yinegamu."
Be careful.
Really?
Yinegamo, you are my wife, is very different than Yinega.
Well, just keep in mind, it is "you are my woman."
You are
is
my
the
woman,
literal
which is,
translation.
I like that, but if you just say Yinegamo, it's like you're just calling someone, hey woman,
No, I'm saying my woman.
Yinega.
Literally.
If you say Yinega.
So what
I'm
do
sure
Greeks call
this
their
isn't
wife?
making
This
for
is terrible
very-
TV,
This is
but-
television. Terrible television.
But let me ask, what do Greeks, when they're saying, like,
Ine
wife
Yinegamo.
of mine, or, you
they
know, like a
won't.
lovely
They
statement?
won't.
How would they say it?
They're called by the name. I'm sure
So
this is very
basically,
boring for
yeah.
everyone else. This is
She was
mine
like,
and Tom's
"Please stop."
conversations.
No, somebody shouted out Valentine's Day is tomorrow. You gave me a heart attack, but I didn't know about Galentine's Day till you told me about it.
I don't know.
but-
Valentine's Day is
I didn't know-
Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
on
know it was
the
a separate
day.
thing, so chat might not get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Galentine's Day is today where women
Is literally the day before.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
So you get
didn't know
to show,
that.
because think about it. What ended up happening was back in the day, women would feel badly that they didn't have a boyfriend for Valentine's Day because there was so much judgment around it. I remember growing up, I was like, you got to have a boyfriend for Valentine's Day. Even if you break up 2 days later, you got to have a guy for Valentine's Day. Like the pressure of, as a woman growing up, was you have to have a partner. If you don't, it means something about you. So I think that's probably where Galentine's Day came from, where it's like, instead of women just feeling desperate, which isn't a great feeling, let's have a day, and again, I'm making this up, but this is my hypothesis, let them have a day where they just show each other love. And now there's no pressure of having to have a guy to take you out. Your girlfriends tell you how special you are. Your girlfriends are the ones that reach out to you and tell you. And so they become this big thing where it's like women get to show women how appreciated they are without needing the guy to do it. So
I just know Galimera from my holidays in Cyprus. Yes, Galimera would be good morning. Word. Drew,
Well,
please show Tom.
I'm
I don't know
gonna
what that
leave you
means.
guys.
Yeah, Showtime what?
What are we showing Tom?
I'll let you guys finish.
All right, yeah, sadly, we are minutes away
and
here.
Did you let them know though? Tomorrow, I've somehow been conned into, because Drew isn't here. Damn you, Drew. I'm sitting in Drew's spot, and I'm gonna do the Drew role, but I don't know half as much about politics and what you guys talk about. So I'm gonna come in as a bit of a novice, and if I have questions, I'm just gonna ask the questions.
Yeah,
As a
we
novice.
and we need to
Question and
lean.
answer.
Don't try to be the Drew of it all. Be the
Oh,
Lisa
yeah.
of it all.
I couldn't be Drew even if I tried. There's only one Drew in the
There's
house.
only one Lisa.
Aw,
Look at that. Look at that.
feeling the love, especially after the red suit. You so many
Chat
points.
called him out. They were like, "Your red suit was dope."
It was
Yeah,
dope,
I
right?
appreciate it.
He earned so. I don't know if I'm out of frame now. He earned so much credibility and respect. Like, just when I thought you were at the tippy top, dude, you took it to a whole new level.
It was actually Eunice's idea, so I got to give credit where your credit is due. She was like, "We should dress up like the Bachelor," and I was like the what? For what? So I wasn't even gonna go there, but yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you pulled it off, dude.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for
I appreciate
encouraging him. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow because I will be in the. I was gonna say hot seat, but it's not quite the hot seat. It's like the warm seat.
The warms.
All right, peace out, guys. Bye.
Later. Love you too, Pumpkin. Love you too, Inegamu.
Oscar
right.
said, I love how Tom was locked in on the intro and Lisa shows up and the world stops. That's true love.
It's so true. Nobody can distract me quite like my wife. Bless her cotton socks. Okay, for real. Got to write this fucking intro. It's not gonna write itself. So we can cover that the Doge website exists, but I don't know that there's a lot to say about it yet. All right. Do you think we have anything missing here? Let me look through your topics. Doc stored to mine. That's pretty hilarious. Interest alone. Oh, we got to cover that. The interest alone is more than the Department of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, bro, it's all about the Department of Defense. No, it's not. The interest on our debt is more than the entire Department of Defense budget. That's crazy.
It's nuts.
Definitely got to bring that up. I always abide by the courts. I feel it's a little old now. This is the problem with not recording on the day of. But a good reminder. Did you watch the clip?
I'm watching it right now.
The Meat Axe one. Oh, right. Yes. I want to talk about this for sure.
I'm listening. What? Talk about what?
Have you listened to the Meat Axe clip from Schumer?
Yeah.
I think that's a
The
good
tweet,
one.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, basically him saying that, he doesn't, I don't think he says anything about a scalpel, but he's saying, look, yes, there is waste, fraud, and abuse, but you can't go in there with a meat axe, says the guy to the only person with any credibility in terms of doing a big turnaround like this. I think that's what we're talking about. And then,
Sorry, just to say, I don't know if you guys know, but you hit 4.5 mil subs today.
no, we had it yesterday for sure.
I was this.
And I don't know when it clicked over.
I completely missed it. Oh,
And
that's awesome.
I
Well,
was not.
Today.
Woo! Thank you to the subs. 4.5.
Let's go. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for subscribing.
Five?
Cross ahead, Lisa.
Wow.
I know this is
No,
terrible.
no,
I'm
no,
bad
don't
at
worry.
this.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at celebrating things like that. My apologies. People didn't vote to get. Oh, we should probably talk about CFPB. People didn't vote to get rid of the CFPB. I don't have a lot of deep stuff to say on that, other than you will not be surprised to find that it is a political tool. I won't say one way or the other. I don't know enough about it to say which side of the political aisle is correct on their assessment. But just because something has a positive name or even a positive mission doesn't mean that it isn't doing very partisan-y things. So further explanation or exploration, I think, is warranted by an investigative journalist is probably the right answer there. But yeah, I would say look before you leap on any of that stuff. Just as we're learning with USAID, there's, I'm sure, good things as well. But boy, oh boy, is there a lot of astroturfing and manipulation of narratives, both home and abroad. So again, watch the episode. Oh, that's really the heartbeat of that whole thing is, what's his face?
I just want to say,
Mike Benz.
Parzival said, "Gotta bounce for some calls.
out.
Attack the day and make the greatest day an Impactivist has ever had." Thank you, Parzival, for joining us. Thank you, thank you.
Indeed. Mike Benz on Rogan. We cannot forget that. That was like the whole thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, you
Okay,
started
so
there.
do we start with Benz on Rogan and how the world really works? I think we do, man. I think that's stronger magic. We can get into the AI flow. Need to watch that clip again. Have you clipped it out or just used what I sent with the time code?
I haven't clipped it out. I just have it at the time.
I did put it in, right?
Yeah, it was 1:19.
Where's the... There it is. Need to re-listen to this part.
Goes wrong.
I used to feel scatterbrained, overwhelmed, and constantly behind until I let AI start planning my day. Now, I used to feel scatterbrained.
What is happening?
overwhelmed, and
I'm in a death loop.
constantly behind until I let AI start planning my day. Now,
They can walk right over.
That
to
was so
USA
weird.
And do the exact same thing the CIA does, except they can call it discreet democracy promotion because it's not technically an intelligence agency, so it's not that's being done. And when the CIA is subject to restrictions on the kind of covert activity it can do. Every covert action the CIA does, which is our working for organized political warfare. You know, George Kennan himself, as well as Lynn Casey and Colby and everyone. The express purpose of it was to carry out the subversive side of the political struggle, so that we'd have a mechanism for influencing foreign affairs by creating an internal, what looks to be an organic, grassroots, authentic network within the country, but we're actually funding and directing their actions to be favorable to U.S. interests. But where I'm going with this is, USAID has most of the worst scandals of U.S. statecraft and covert action in the past 2 decades have actually been from USAID rather than CIA. There's a reason for this. So after the big scandals against the Democrats and liberals and anti-war groups in the 60s and 70s, reforms were put in place. And some of this goes back to the force itself, but every covert action the CIA does has to be authorized by the president, what's called the presidential finding, to take that covert action. So if the CIA senior leadership were just a rogue cell that's not even at the top of leadership, it's just a rogue desk, a rogue portfolio, a rogue network, wants to run a covert action in a region, but they don't think the president will approve, or the president doesn't want to formally sign off on it in case it goes wrong, they can walk right over to USAID and do the exact same thing the CIA does, except they can call it discreet democracy promotion because it's not technically an intelligence agency, so it's not technically covert action, so it doesn't require executive branch approval or foreknowledge, and they've gotten in trouble in these cases in some pretty incredible ways. Can I just show that, please? So let's start with even the whitewashed version. Go to the Wikipedia of Zunzeneo, Z-U-N-Z-E-N-E-O, just on the Wikipedia, and then we can go deeper on this if you want. This was a scandal during the Obama USAID era. Now, we were running a number of rogue USAID operations in Cuba at the time, by the way. I have to say for the record, no fan of the Cuban government. I'm not even weighing in on whether it's the right or wrong thing to do, in terms of regime change there or, liberating people there from autocratic excess by that government. I'm simply showing the American people where your tax dollars are going and how these things are structured in order to systematically fool you and to fool Congress and to fool the White House. So, for example, this is, and I'll show a couple other things in a second here.
A lot of people talking about taxes on tips being part of the minimum wage.
Yeah, I don't know that feels like today's episode. It's very interesting.
Tom, are you running for political office anytime soon?
Never.
For those of you who are just joining us, Tom and Drew are currently prepping for the Tom Bilyeu Show episode. And that means that they're
do with some more.
getting topics, links, videos, whatever. Terrible timing, go ahead. To talk about for what they're going to be filming here in about a few minutes actually. But if you have any questions for Tom that he may answer on a later date, there is a link that's been dropped in the chat where you can leave a question for Tom. He can answer it. We can bring it back up at another time. Yeah, lots of questions. Lots of questions. Yeti Bandit, let me check. Yes, I can do that for you, Yeti Bandit. Yes. And yes, you can put links in Twitch chat now. So to my Twitch folks. Yes. Tom, they're making sure that your notes say GPT 4.5 and 5 because you just said 4 and 4.5. Just want to make sure you don't say it wrong live.
Oh, is it? I thought it was 4 and 4.5.
4.5 and 5.
Can we verify that?
It's 4.5 and 5.
It's 4.5 and 5? Yeah. In the coming months?
In the coming months.
Damn, my brain just won't allow it.
There we go.
Thank you. Who said that?
Femboy Gaming.
Yo, Femboy, thank you, brother. Jesus. Chat for the fucking win.
And we've got a follow from Malaria over on Twitch. Thank you, Malaria, for the follow.
Yo, for real, chat, thank you. Femboy specifically, thank you. That is the kind of gangster shit. You just saved us having to like either re-record the intro or getting clowned on in the comments. Woo! My man.
They said no problem with the heart.
Well, I appreciate it very much.
Doug says, Drew, always with the contrasting colors. I like the shakeup. Thank you for addressing the 4.5 to 5. Hello, guys. Big fan here. Thanks, Marari. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yuri says, this is great. Definitely want to ask Tom about my streaming project. Yuri, welcome in. Thank you. Someone said the last person to say they're never running for office was Trump.
When I say that sounds like a fucking nightmare, by all means, if I ever run, you can play this clip on a loop, but I just cannot fathom.
I'm trying to figure out where these JFK files are because Russell Brand just went live saying, like, talking about it, leading his show with it.
Which one?
The JFK files, because I feel like it's starting to come out as if it was released. But
I'm guessing he was talking about the files found.
Oh,
the additional 20,000 files found.
Okay.
Would be my guess. Can you find anything direct where, because I heard somebody else say it, but I haven't seen directly, the Jordan saying we're not taking Palestinians. I think the person said they were willing to fight or we'd go to war, something. That was my memory. But then I also remembered that it was 4.0 and 4.5 and that was incorrect. So memory fallible. But if that's true, I'm going to include a mention of it in the intro.
JFK files are supposed to be released from NARA, not out yet. Frank says internet plus blockchain equals global voting.
No, you don't want it. I don't think I'd love to cover it at some point. That's not today's episode, but that is interesting as an evergreen topic. In fact, we should put that in. I've never heard anybody else mention that though, so it could be his pet project, but it'd be interesting to put that here.
They said thank you.
What was it? Blockchain plus what equals?
Internet plus blockchain equals global voting.
Trump had a press conference with the King of Jordan, who said he will take them in. This was February 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! We might need to watch that before we roll. And this is how episodes get delayed.
I'm dropping a link in the spreadsheet.
I heard a really small snippet of that, and then it completely
I have one
fell
X
off my
link. I'm
radar.
gonna try to find more, but this is what
All
I
right.
got so far.
Let's see that. Hey, by the way, when I play these clips, can you guys hear them?
No, they cannot.
Please read out their response.
No, they cannot.
They can't?
They cannot.
But he may have just something to say because
Yeah, you have to adjust the microphone.
Can't.
Oh, can I drop the chat in the? Can I select you the link, Eunice, so
Yeah.
you can drop the chat in it?
Do it.
Work.
Mario, loving the behind the scenes live footage. Thank you. You got to turn it up, Tom.
just something to say because we discussed just briefly. I think maybe you want to say.
Why should the king take in the Palestinian people? He's made clear he doesn't want to.
Well, I don't know, but he may have just something to say because we discussed just briefly. I think maybe you want to say now or.
Well, Mr. President, I think we have to keep in mind that there is a plan from Egypt and the Arab countries. We've been invited by Mohammed bin Salman to discussions in Riyadh. I think the point is how to make this work in a way that is good for everybody. Obviously, we have to look into the best interest of the United States, of the people in the region, especially to my people of Jordan. And we're going to have some interesting discussions today. I think one of the things that we can do right away is take 2,000 children that are either cancer children or in a very ill state to Jordan as quickly as possible. And then wait for, I think, the Egyptians to present their plan on how we can work with the president to work on Gaza challenges.
And we'll be working on the rest with Egypt. I think you're going to see some great progress. I think with Jordan, you're going to see some great progress. There's three of us, and we'll have some others helping, and we're going to have some others at a very high level helping, and the whole thing will come. It's not a complex thing to do. And with the United States being in control of that piece of land, a fairly large piece of land, you're going to have stability in the Middle East for the first time. And
Hold on. He keep.
being in control of that, you're going to see some great progress. There's three of us, and we'll have some others helping, and we're going to have some others at a very high level helping, and the whole thing will come. It's not a complex thing to do. And with the United States being in control of that piece of land, a fairly large piece of land, you're going to have stability in the Middle East for the first time. And the Palestinian.
Am I just not following the right people?
What do you mean?
When Israel was bombing the shit out of Gaza, it was like all over. I heard about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Trump keeps saying, he literally just said, with America in control of, I think he said that large piece of land. I don't even think he said a large piece of that land. Let me hear it
The
again.
whole thing will come. It's not a complex thing to do. And with the United States being in control of that piece of land, a fairly large piece of land.
Am I the only one tripping out about this?
That America's taking control over the Gaza?
Yes.
We've been paying Israel this last 6
But
years.
wait.
We've been controlled by
Who are the
proxy.
voices on this? Guys. Chat. Is anybody else talking about this and it's just not making my feed? This is where algorithms can be deranging. It is entirely possible that other people are also like, what the fuck? But I'm not, this is not making my feed. Am I crazy? Like, this is a thing. So we've ignored chat now. They've gone quiet on us. It's our own fault. But
No, they're talking. They're answering.
it just says best. It's the only thing I see.
Huh?
Fox has
Trump sounds way better at 2x. Everybody sounds better.
No
at
one
2x.
talking about it, but Trump is talking as done all
There's
week.
definitely going to be a
Nobody's
Trump
taking it
Gaza.
seriously. Fox has been talking about it.
No one talking about it. What the fuck?
Yep, he talks about Gaza is as
Nobody
his.
is taking him seriously. That is a mistake. More words, chat. More words. How many people are in chat right now?
We have 472 watching on
Really?
YouTube. Yep, and we have.
But we really did break their will. They're all
26.
lurking now.
Well, a lot of people are working. A lot of people have dipped out and said thanks for watching on my way to work or
Yeah,
whatever.
no one is talking about it. First, I'm hearing, what the fuck?
I will say this is the
No
first
one is
time I've
talking
heard
about it.
you.
I think it's this.
More words, I'm cooking. Sorry, Yeti. Do your thing.
First time hearing about it. No one talking about
Yes. Enigma, you are correct. We are watching colonialization, sort of. I mean, you are literally watching ethnic cleansing. This is nuts. I'm telling you, if you say it calmly enough, people just roll with it. I just don't understand. Did people just, they lost their enthusiasm? What is what's his name, Drew? We've had him on the show. Dave Smith. What is Dave Smith talking about with this? He's got to be banging the table and like screaming. But for some reason, this is not like at all making my radar. I think AI is creating the media. No, probably not. Mega. Nobody giving me new information here. They're definitely talking about it. He recently met. Yeah. Trump is talking about it. But I'm saying, is anybody who's based camp? He just did a Princeton debate. Who did a Princeton debate? Our boy Dave Smith. Trump has become the boy who cries. Wait, so
Dave Smith had a video just last night.
Okay, about this. Okay. So
Dave Smith is saying, of course, saying it's a terrible idea.
But terrible idea.
Dave Smith did debate, yeah. Dave Smith said he does not like it, but waiting to see if there are real movements.
Wow, I'm caught off guard by. This is the first time now where I'm like, this is a trip. All right, thank you, chat, by the way. I appreciate you guys all chiming in on that. If we can make that dance work, oh man, this is going to be a relationship made in heaven, chat. All right, sorry. Now I'm back into the writing mode here.
OTH on YouTube. What is the subject?
Can you make sure that we do that clip of the president of Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is on the bottom.
But you got to hear him say it.
OTH, what is the subject at hand? OTH, we're going through a bunch of topics for the Tom Bilyeu Show. Tom and Drew are prepping right now, picking out things, breaking news, things that chat is suggesting for Tom and Drew to talk about before they record their episode. Yeah, breaking news. Does chat get paid for helping?
You get paid in our love, chat. In our love and gratitude.
Copy that, yes. Rotor Case saying, I'm at work now watching.
Let's go.
Yes, thank you.
Trump has done a lot of good things in the last few weeks, but it's hard to overstate how awful the Gaza thing idea is. Committing an ethnic cleansing on behalf of Israel, who
Wait, start over. Sorry.
Trump has, as soon as you heard ethnic cleansing,
yeah. I was like, I'm gonna need to hear this.
Trump has done a lot of good things in the last few weeks, but it's hard to overstate how awful the Gaza idea is. Committing an ethnic cleansing on behalf of Israel, who has wanted exactly that way before October 7th, and taking ownership of the region is about as awful an idea as any president has ever had. I hope he reconsiders.
That was Dave Smith? Oh man, I want to hear more words, because morally understood.
The ethnic cleansing part.
Yeah, bad. Always bad. But once it happens, is it a bad idea? Like, I think we may actually, okay, run the hypotheses. Either, maybe we should save this for camera, but it's going to look something like this. You ethnically cleanse, which is a way of saying you force them to go somewhere else. You're mostly going to push them, it sounds like, into Jordan and Egypt. Mm-hmm. They'll probably let some stay. I don't know. That may be where Israel comes in and is like, has a thing. But let's say some go to Jordan, some go to Egypt, and some stay. If you can inundate that place with American allied Arabic nations, so you get, let's say, Saudi, Jordan, Egypt, obviously tensions, but ties to America. not going to get Yemen. You're not going to get Iran. Who else would they invite in there? I don't know. I'd have to look more deeply. But as many not America people as humanly possible would be smart. But under the protective eye of American military might, which is what I think he means when he says we control it, and you guide a rebuilding process and you create the Riviera, even though it is as morally deplorable as what Americans did to Native Americans, it may actually end in peace. It just becomes a question of whether they destabilize Jordan and or Egypt. Or if you just can't get rid of terrorism and you're just all the fucking work sites are getting bombed and that kind of shit. More attacks on Israel. Man, this is going to be fucking wild. Wild. All right. Back to the intro. Eventually, we do have to record this episode.
Chia Pet saying Egypt responded to Trump
Chia
saying...
Pet?
Chia Pet.
Chia Pet.
Chia Pet.
Chia Pet is Gen X.
Chia.
Chia Pet, if you could confirm that, I would appreciate it. But sorry, what are they saying?
Well, I was going to say Egypt responded to Trump saying that they would be interested in helping to rebuild, but that the people need to stay on their land.
There. See, that's the argument that I expect to be happening. I just can't believe it's not being had at volume 11. This is
King of Jordan is like, hey, man, give me the kids. Break me off some bread. I'll take them. That's why he's going in there first.
Literally.
Let me get
He
my
was
deal
like,
first.
Did I say they can come in? I think I mentioned something about kids with cancer, if memory serves. And I would like to buy myself time by waiting for Egypt's response.
Okay, it was in the Wall Street Journal. So Egypt is fighting back and trying to form their own coalition with other Arab states to have a plan to put together to rebuild Gaza but keep them on their land. So I think Egypt is now trying to talk to their neighbors to prevent Trump and America.
Basically saying, hey, cool, rebuild, we love that, but you can't boot them.
expel.
That makes sense. That I'm like, but that is not what Trump is talking about. Trump is just... No, they'll be fine. They want to take him. I love when they said, though, why should he take people? I don't know. But I think he has something he wants to say.
But I think you want to tell them that.
Right. Don't you?
Sheesh.
It's like, yeah. International diplomacy with a very big stick held gently behind the back.
What is the process to force them into Jordan and Egypt? Can't they just say no and not go?
Yeah, diplomacy. Diplomacy is a real fancy word for if you don't do this, I'm going to cause other problems. And that's how it circles back to U.S. aid, where it's like there's the said and there's the unsaid. Like there are a million ways for a country as strong as ours to cause problems for a weaker country. Like it doesn't have to be a kinetic war, and we can fuck people up.
I need to start setting up links.
Yeah.
You're going to lose access to the TV.
Oh, I'm okay.
To chit chat.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eunice will hold the fort.
Eric, I'm about
down.
to start sharing. So we'll minimize it and I'll bring up the TBS stuff.
And I think I'm almost done with the intro. I just need to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Are we ending? Are we recording through live?
Well, we can test it. This I'll leave up to Drew. Drew is held responsible for the metrics.
Drew,
what would you like to do?
I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
All right. Let Drew cook mentally here.
Let him cook mentally. Someone said, Drew, I want to see the sausage being made, which is a crazy.
It's true. It's true.
Don't end us.
I mean, technically, you guys have seen the sausage. Now it's like we actually cook it up. This is the sausage.
Come
meat.
on, Drew. We're cool people. Don't end us. Make
All right,
the right
all right,
decision,
here's the
Drew.
thing.
Don't be like that, guys.
Whoever's saying that, here's what we have to figure out. If you weren't here in the beginning, I explained this. We accidentally released our Monday episode on Sunday. It was up for 3 hours. It was doing 5,000 views per hour, which is awesome. It was on pace to do like 120K in the first day. Great. Huge hit. It's going to put it like 2 or 3 out of 10, maybe first out of 10 for our local performance. And we put it private and then relaunched it back when it was supposed to be done. And because, according to YouTube, the episode was a day old, it was underperforming, even though the first 3 hours were just absolutely devastating high performance. And because we didn't have the momentum of like the early super fans, the episode died and is now like middling 7, 8 out of 10. Absolutely heartbreaking. And so what we're worried about is if you guys watch it live, you're obviously not going to rewatch it when we post the actual video tomorrow. And that means the people who care the most that showed up to see all of this won't watch the video right when we need it most, which means then the episode won't perform well. And then we will say to ourselves, we can't live stream it. Because this is, whether we want this to be or not, this is an economic game. And if the episodes don't perform, then it's game over. So we are in the business of becoming the biggest channel on planet Earth. Make no mistake about what we're trying to do. Now, we may never get there, but that is the game, and we will play to win. So, Joe, you'd be shocked. 442 superfans are exactly how you get the algorithm to go, oh, damn, people really want this. Now, look, if we can get Drew on board. Now, remember, Drew is held accountable to the performance of the channel. But if we can get Drew to try it, and I am perfectly happy to try it, but if we try it and the episode falls on its face, which we have all the metrics in the world, so we will know whether the episode performs or underperforms, then we'll have to switch it up. So I'm happy to try it. If you guys can get Drew on board while I pee, then we'll see. But just know this is a dance between wanting you as the lovely people showing up, wanting to make you guys happy and do something you think is rad, and understanding that we are up against some very serious competition, including the algorithm. And so we have to ultimately do what is best for the overall channel. All right. Having said all of that, I'm going to read this once in my head, and then I'm going to go pee. This is your chance. If you're going to convince Drew, now's your...
We got to cut it.
Uh-oh. Look at that.
Sorry.
Drew.
I love you. I love you dearly.
There it is.
Cutting.
There it is. Not yet. We got a minute.
Not yet.
Still.
Not yet. We got a few minutes.
But, all right.
Someone said, no. Let's go.
Copy. Oh, Ricky, I love you. Ricky's my guy. Sorry, man. What did your last test result? That's a good. Thank you, Yeti Bandit. That's exactly what I was searching over here. I looked up the analytics. I've seen what we did historically when we do our premieres, and I see historically what we're currently averaging at now. Those numbers have a big gap in them. So as much as I love all 442 of you guys, and I want all you guys,
43.
Oh, Eunice said put some respect. 443.
Plus you're forgetting Twitch too.
I absolutely. Oh, and I even shout out to the Twitch audience. I love you guys the most.
He loves you guys equally.
But yes, and I still have to do my episode prep too. So as much as I love engaging with you guys, we will never shoot this episode because I still have to watch 30 more minutes of like 2 interviews.
Oh, damn.
On 2x speed though, so it could take 15 minutes if I start right now.
All right. Much love, guys. Thank you for this. This has been fucking awesome. This is a sign of things to come, I assure you. We're going to be doing this again tomorrow. Lisa will be joining us. Drew's out of town, and we'll pick it up where we left off. We're also going live again later today. True or false? Looks like false.
False.
Okay,
False.
so we'll pick back up tomorrow. These are experiments right now. Things will solidify over the coming weeks. Thank you guys for being here. Much love. If you have not already, please do subscribe. It really does matter more than you know. And when this episode drops tomorrow at 6 a.m., please, guys, go watch the life out of it. Remember, you were a part of it. 6 a.m. Pacific time, Eric Kirby, 6 a.m. Pacific time. And then also remember, the first hour that we go live for episode prep is pure engagement with you guys. So be here, show up, come ready with topics that you want to make sure make the final episode. So plead your case in that first hour. Then it gets a little bit sort of off and on, but you will have Eunice. And then in that final hour, we really do have to pull back a bit so that we can make sure that we get the episode across the finish line. All right, you guys have been dope. This has been awesome in ways that I can tell they're going to reverberate. So thank you all, and we will see you tomorrow.
Just one quick one. Shabooks, thanks for the follow on Twitch.
Let's
and
go.
thanks everybody on Twitch who's saying goodbye. Yeti Bandit, Ribsy, Straw Hat, Enigma, Rotor Case, Femboy. Thank you guys for saying goodbye over there on Twitch.
Indeed. And just so you guys know, Drew and I do see both YouTube and Twitch comments on the TV. All right, everybody. Much love. Peace out.
We're ready. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.